Yeah, you're right, Mike. Those silver numbers are hard.
I told you, buddy. They're hard to see.
James Branson here at Blankenship Field in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, joined by Mike Sheehan for another Friday night here from Blankenship. Mike, we got a good ball game on hand here. We got two rivals, two longtime rivals, two rivals that probably have the most wins against each other in their school's history in Oak Ridge and Dobyns-Bennett.
Yeah, they were a great rivalry. I've loved playing this team. I've loved watching them through the years. It's always been a great team to play. A great bunch of sportsmen down here in Kingsport. Every time we've ever gone down there, they've treated us really nice. We try to reciprocate when they come here because it's just a great rivalry when two teams can play each other as tough as they do year in and year out. This year they're 6-2. Then they've got a pretty doggone good team. And one of the teams they lost to, ironically, was Greenville. Yep. They lost 35-7, and we lost 35-9 to Greenville. So you got nothing to be ashamed of there. And then they lost to Jefferson County 2 weeks ago, 35-21. Then they came back last week and beat William Blount 48-21. So we got our hands full tonight, James.
Mike, you've seen a lot of games here, just like a lot of other Wildcats who are listening to us tonight on FM 92.7 or prepradio.com or Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. One of the cool things about this game is usually there was so much at stake in this game. You know, when we were playing, like you said, we were in the same classification for so long that we generally played each other all the time, and there was so much at stake because usually whoever won the game got to host the playoff game between the two teams.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, now it's not a regional game anymore like it used to be because Kingsport's such a much bigger school than Oak Ridge. They're 6A, and, of course, we're 5A. But still, there's a lot of pride on the line here.
You're absolutely right. Well, Mike, the Wildcats are about to run out onto the field. They will be in their all-Cardinal uniforms, Cardinal jerseys, along with Cardinal pants. As we were talking a little bit here before the start of the game, Kingsport's going to be in white jerseys and silver or gray pants, but they're going to have silver numbers. Might make it a little hard for us tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I told you, we both got our binoculars out because if we miss a number, you'll have to forgive us because it's really hard to see up here in the press box all the way down to the field. And a lot of people don't know. I will tell you, our colors were chosen by Ben Martin after Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett. So our uniforms really look a lot alike, except their contrast of colors. They're wearing white and we're wearing red, so they're not going to be an issue. But their gray pants uniforms and their white jerseys look a lot like ours.
Well, Mike, I don't know about you, but it's also getting a little chilly out here. It actually kind of feels like football season. One of the things that's really nice is you're seeing some leaves out in the end zones and things like that. Mike, for me personally, what showed it was football season was when you started to see our old grass kind of turn a brownish, a yellowish color. You knew playoffs were coming, and they were going to be here real quick. Obviously, we don't have that anymore. Do you kind of miss that a little bit?
No, not really. I'm going to be honest about it. I had the worst sunburn in my life when I was playing here on Blankenship Field back in 1966. That I'll never forget it. I had the worst rash in the world.
The starting line, or the captains have already been out. Oak Ridge will receive to start the game here. So Dobyns-Bennett looks like they will be kicking off their kicker for us tonight. And once again, we'll have to remind you, the numbers are a little hard to see up here, so we'll do our best. But Titan Thomas is who they have listed as their kicker. He is number 42, back deep to receive. It looks like we have Xavier James way back, and then the upbacks look like Jai Hunley, DeJavis Dozier, and it looks like Jacob Bervin in the middle, joined by number 12, Marcus Melton, and Justin Crowley back deep. A lot of speed back there, Mike.
Absolutely there is.
Wildcats have done a really good job all year long returning kickoffs and getting good field position. Hopefully we can start off this game in a very similar way here. And we are about to have football live from Blankenship Field on another Friday night as we have the kickoff. It goes high. It is going to be fielded at about the 10-yard line, dropped by Dozier. He picks it up, though, gets toward the sideline, moves the ball probably up to about the 18-yard line before he is pushed back. Mike, our offense has changed a little bit. You have some of the changes here for us tonight.
Yes, I do. Tight end Darren Osborne, running back Jai Hunley, split end Brandon Hayward, flanker Elijah Rogers, center Walker Rice, left guard Tyrese Allman, left tackle Ethan Hewitt, right tackle Zach Sider, and Sam Bentley is the right guard. Running back Kendall Jackson, and quarterback will be Hayden Tarwater.
The Wildcats will have the ball at the 18-yard line with 11:53 just at the start of the game. Handoff goes to Hunley. Hunley tries to step out of a tackle, but ends up being met right at the line of scrimmage, and that is where he will go down. Two-back set there for the Wildcats, and not too much there on that play, Mike.
No, the line block is going to have to do a better job than that. That's all there is to it. We've got to establish the run game tonight, James, if we're going to stay with this Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett team.
And I think that's one of the keys, too, is being able to wear them down. I think keeping our offense on the field, kind of wearing down the defense. Oak Ridge offense comes back out. Two receivers to the left of Tarwater, two running backs. We send Elijah Rogers in motion. Throw a quick screen out to Brandon Hayward. He slips through one tackle and is able to fight his way up for about 4-yard gain there as the Wildcats are moving away from Jackson Square. Going to be about third and what looks like 6 or 7.
Yeah, Hayden had plenty of time to pass that ball that time, James. He hit him right in the numbers. He just couldn't elude any of the defenders and get any further up the field than he could. So we're bringing up now third down and about 4.
Looks like the Wildcats are going to send 3 receivers to the right of Hayden Tarwater. Kendall Jackson joining him in the backfield. Darren Osborne out to the left. 10:35 left in the first quarter. Hayden drops back, looks, has to scramble out. He's going to be at the 20. He needs to take it down and run. 25 up to the 30. Dives for the first down and keep the chains moving, does Hayden Tarwater. That's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Had an excellent decision by Hayward that time. He got outside and he eluded the would-be tackle. He faked him out. I thought he was going to get tackled short of the first down, but then he just sheer effort got the first down, James.
You got to love the decisiveness there of Hayden as he just pulled it down and made a play with his feet. And, if you do that enough, they're going to have to respond to that. So Hayden has his first down at the 30-yard line. 2 running backs each side, a receiver to each side. Hayden hands it off, comes to the right, the left does Kendall. Kendall fighting for yards all the way up to the 36-yard line. Nice run there, as you said, establishing the run, Mike. Nice run on first down to put you in second and short.
Yeah, and Kendall Jackson stiff-armed the first would-be tackler to get 2 extra yards on that play, and he got 6 on that run. It was a very determined run by Kendall Jackson.
It's going to be 2nd and 4. Ball placed at the 36-yard line of the Wildcats. 9:58 remaining in the first quarter. Clock has stopped because Kendall went out of bounds. Hayden takes the snap, fakes a pitch to Kendall, gives it a dive off to Hundley. Hundley goes up the middle, and he's going to maybe get about a yard, but he was close to breaking that one there, Mike.
I tell you what, that was an excellent defensive play that time by King Sports. Levi Evans, he just slipped his block and got him pretty quickly on that play. So now it's going to bring down 3rd and 6 for the Wildcats.
3rd and 4 for the Wildcats. 9:34 left in the first quarter here. Wildcats send a receiver each side. That's Rogers and Hayward. To a receiver or a running back to each side of Tarwater. Tarwater takes a snap, but before the play, there is a flag down, and the referees are going to say what? We have the call. They're going to turn and say that it was a offsides on Kingsport. So it's going to give Oak Ridge a first down without having to run a play. It's nice there when they just gift you a first down, Mike.
Yeah, we would have had a first down anyway because Brandon Hayward caught that pass over in the left flat there. But as it was, it turned out we got an automatic first down.
Easy pickup there for the Wildcats as they have the first down at the 41-yard line. Hayden's going to take the snap. Hands off, going to the right is Hundley. There's going to be a flag in the backfield as Hundley gets about 3 yards. And you know, Mike, when that flag comes out that quick, it's going to look like it's going to be a holding.
Yeah, I'm afraid it was a hold. I couldn't exactly see who it was. Somebody on the right side got called. And that run's going to come back. Now it's going to bring down first down in about 15.
Looks like it may be from the spot of the foul. They usually go from that. So I believe that's why it's going to be way backed up to the Oak Ridge 27. I think it's a spot of the foul, so it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And apparently that occurred 2 yards in the backfield. Yeah. So the Wildcats are going to have it after picking up the first down on a penalty. They back themselves up on a penalty. It's going to be 1st and 24, ball on the 26-yard line, 8:50 left in the first quarter. Hayden takes the snap, looks over to Hayward. Hayward has it on a quick curl route. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering over my words here. Gets up to the 35-yard line before being tackled.
Boy, as soon as he caught that ball, he got collapsed on by 3 defenders for the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians. Levi Evans again there on a stop along with Caleb Baker for Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett.
It's going to set up 2nd and 16 for the Wildcats. Ball at the 35-yard line. Wildcats send 2 receivers to Hayden's right, send Kendall Jackson to his right, as well as 1 receiver to the left. 8:10 left in the first quarter. Handoff's going to go to Kendall Jackson. Nope, I'm sorry, I got faked out. It's going to be a pass out to Hundley. Hundley's got wheels. He gets across midfield and is tackled just shy of the 42-yard line. Mike, I don't know about you. I got faked out. Yeah, and Hayden did a great job there on that play.
I was listening to you call it, and I thought he had the ball, the runner, Jai Henley, but no, he went out in the flat and got another big first down as the Wildcats were moving the chains, Brains.
Going to move the chains in a big pickup there on that down as it's going to be into Kingsport territory. Ball on the 42-yard line. Wildcats have it 1st and 10, 7:33 left in the first quarter. Hundley comes in motion to Hayden's left. Snap goes that way. Pitch to Kendall Jackson. Kendall getting ahead of steam all the way up to the 35-yard line. So the Wildcat offense getting in rhythm, as you said, establishing that run game, picking up first downs.
I'll tell you, Kendall really ran with power that time. He got the pad leverage. He got down low. He hit number 59, Blake Dockery, for the Kingsport, knocked him back about 3 yards before he made the tackle. And you got to, 2nd down and 3 now for the Wildcats, 7-yard gain.
You're absolutely right. It's 6:55 left in the first quarter. Hayden takes the snap once again, looks to his right, scrambles off to his left, looking for a block here or there, and able to get down. Ball came out late, and are they going to say that the ball came out before he went down? It looks like that's where it's going to be spotted. I couldn't see very well from here. Kind of questionable.
I think the turf caused that fumble. When he hit the ground, it bounced out. So
either way, they're going to back it up to the 40-yard line. So a call that is not going in Oak Ridge's way here. I didn't see it very well. I just saw the ball pop out. Luckily for us, Jai Hundley fell in the fumble. It's going to be 3rd and 8 6:16 left in the first quarter. Wildcats have had it the entire time. 2 receivers to Hayden's left. He takes the snap, fakes a handoff, rolls out, looking for his man. Who's he got? Darren Osborne at the 32, 33-yard line, and he is right at that first down marker, Mike.
Excellent execution by Hayden Tarwater that time. He got it out there to Osborne. Osborne got the pass and tried to make it upfield, but it brings up 4th down and 2 for the Wildcats. And I'd say this will be 4th down territory, James. They're going to go for it.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, it's a long kick, probably close to a 50-yarder for Efren Rodriguez, who has a good leg, but you know the Wildcats want to keep their offense going and keep moving. It's going to be 4th and 2, 5:30 left in the first quarter. Wildcats held it the whole drive. Two receivers to the left of Hayden, 1 running back each side. Hayden throws a quick pass out to Rogers. Rogers gets upfield, spins out of a tackle at the 30, and goes down. He barely missed stepping out of that tackle, and he could have gone to the house.
He sure could. He had him by the leg, lower leg and foot, and that's the only way he tackled him. At first, I didn't think he was going to get the first down because he kept spinning around backwards, but then he got his momentum going forward and fell for the Wildcat first down, keeping this drive alive.
10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Wildcats have it 1st and 10. Quick pass again out to Rogers. Comes back against the grain all the way to the right side of the field, trying to pick up blockers, missing tackles, and maybe only get a yard. But he had grass all the way to that side, Mike, and that was if he had been able to use his speed to get outside, he could be gone.
Yeah, he ran 20 yards to get 1, but that was a great play. I thought he was going to get open, but Kingsport defense will have no part of it. They made a good tackle, so it brings up 2nd down and 9 now for the Wildcats.
4:30 left in the first quarter. The Wildcats have held it this entire quarter so far, Mikey. You know, Coach Gaddis got to love that.
Oh, you got to love it when you can run that clock like we're doing.
2nd and 10, Hayden, or 2nd and 9, Hayden takes a snap, pitches out to Hundley. Hundley making a few juke moves, makes a guy miss. He's at the 20, he's at the 10, where he's going to be dragged out of bounds at the 8-yard line. And I think I see a flag. And it's
a horse collar or a face mask 1, Jay. I'm not sure, one or the other.
And it's going to should be half the distance to the goal. So great drive, opening drive for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Just running it down their throat.
Yeah, absolutely. And good line blocking guy up front. I mean, he got outside and then he got a lot of it on his own, James. But just tremendous effort by everyone on that play for the Wildcats. And we're keeping this drive alive, and it's looking good. We're goal to go now with this penalty coming up.
You're absolutely right. Goal to go, as it was going to be a personal foul, face mask on Dobyns-Bennett as Jai was going out of bounds. So once again, Wildcats capitalizing. 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Ball's going to be placed at the 4-yard line with 4:11 left in the first quarter. Hayden has 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Kendall Jackson to his right in the shotgun. Kendall takes the snap out quick, throws it out, does Tarwater to Hundley, and Hundley, all he could do there was just catch it and get down.
Yeah, absolutely. He was lucky he caught that ball because the defender, LaShawn Graves, was right on top of him. As soon as he got that ball, he tackled him right on the spot.
It's going to be 2nd and goal for the Wildcats. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 5. It was at the 4. Wildcats lost a yard on that play. 3:43 left in the first quarter here. Hayden setting up his offense. Tight end to the left. That's Osborne, a receiver each side, as well as a running back each side in the shotgun. Pitch goes out to Hundley. Hundley's going to be stopped in the backfield by, I'm not exactly sure, but there was a lot of penetration there. It looks like the Indians of Dobyns-Bennett are really selling out on the run now.
Branson Carswell for the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett made the initial stop. The Wildcats struggling here on the goal line, James. We've got to drive this ball in there. 3rd down and 9 now for the Wildcats.
3rd and goal from the 9. You're absolutely right. With 3 minutes left in the first quarter, I'm shocked at how well we moved the ball and just kept it the whole time in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the right of Tarwater, as well as Jackson in the shotgun. Tarwater is going to fake.
Fumble, he lost it.
A mix-up on the handoff there between Kendall and Hayden.
Yep.
Ball is on the ground, and Kingsport has recovered at the 13-yard line.
Oh, man, what a disappointing break that was. The handoff just was not smooth at all. It hit Kendall Jackson in his hands, and it just popped right out, and the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett fall on it. Now they've got the ball on the 9-yard line, 1st and 10.
I believe what the Wildcats were trying to do there was trying to pull it out and run a little bit of a rollout game there on a play-action fake. Just happened to fumble it there, did the Wildcats. The Wildcats come out on defense now. Ball is going to be at the Dobyns-Bennett, looks like 12-yard line. They come out, or 2 receivers each side. They motion one guy into the backfield, running back to the quarterback's right. He hands off, and he goes up to the 15. Going to be hit hard at the 17-yard line and goes down. So it's going to be second and probably about 5, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Wildcats really did a good job of getting to him as quick as they did. There on the stop for the Wildcats, number 12, Marcus Melton.
Marcus Melton gets to stop there. The defense is going to be led by J.K. Morgan, Zach Snyder, Ethan Hewitt, Brian Kelly, Jacob Bourbon, Marcus Melton, and Kendall Jackson are your front 7. We'll finish up the secondary here momentarily as Kingsport snaps the ball. The running back goes up the middle for a short gain, but it looks like it's maybe about at 3 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and short for Dobyns-Bennett here.
Ethan Hewitt there on the stop for the Wildcat. Good job by him shedding his block quickly and getting to the runner. It brings up 3rd down and 1 now for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
1:45 left in the first quarter to finish out those starters for the Wildcats. That will be Jaden Williams in the secondary, as well as Brandon Hayward, Elijah Rogers, and the freshman Dallas Frint. Dobyns-Bennett comes out with 2 receivers to the right of the quarterback, tight end to the left, as well as a receiver to the left. Running back to the quarterback's left. He takes the snap, but handoff goes up the middle. They get the first down and move the ball all the way up to the 30-yard line. So the Indians will have it 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Ethan Hewitt again there on the stop for the Wildcats, along with Jacob Bourbon, but not before he gets the first down and moves the ball out to the Wildcat 30-yard line.
It's going to be 1 minute left in the first quarter. The Wildcats held it for all but about 2-3 minutes of the first quarter. 2 receivers stacked to the quarterback's left as he heads towards Jackson Square. He takes the snap, wants to throw a quick pass out here. He's going to be quickly tackled and eaten up alive by Kendall Jackson and Brandon Hayward. Just a little quick screen route out there to number 10 for Dobyns-Bennett.
LaShawn Graves.
And he looked pretty quick out.
Yeah, he definitely did. As soon as he got that ball, he took off. But a great defensive effort by the Wildcats that time. They really only gained 1 yard on that play.
It's going to be 2nd and 9 with 20 seconds left in the first quarter here. Very quick moving game as 3 receivers are going to be sent to the right of the quarterback for Dobyns-Bennett. He takes the snap and is going to toss it out to that right, and it's going to be stuffed behind the line of scrimmage by a pack of Wildcats. And great run defense there by the Wildcats.
Kendall Jackson was on him before he could even get started, Gary. And then Jaden Williams came in and finished him off. Great defensive play by the Wildcats. They gained nothing on that play. And can you believe it? The first quarter's already over.
Mike, I just checked my phone, and it is 17 minutes into the game. And first quarter's over, 17 minutes of airtime, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We're going to send it off for a quick break, a 1-minute timeout. We'll be right back. The Wildcats and Indians tied at 0-0.
We dominated that first. Can you believe that? 2:45. Yeah. We held that ball 9 minutes and 15 seconds. We had 9:15. They had 2:45. Great defense, though. I love this defense. They're playing tough. Let's just hope they can keep it up.
Start of the second quarter here from Blankenship Field. 0-0 score between the Wildcats and the Indians. The Indians try to go for it. Pass goes up to the 39-yard line, but it's going to be tackled short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1 from the 39-yard line here. with 11:40 left in the second quarter. If you're just joining us and just tuning us in on FM 92.7, prepradio.com, or Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15, or if you're watching eventually when we post it on YouTube, if you're watching as well, the Wildcats stopped the Indians on third down, forcing the Indians to punt. And we have a stoppage in play here. The play clock has not wound down, and the officials are looking at the Oak Ridge sideline. Not exactly sure if they are taking...
For whatever reason, it's not resetting, James. Play clock's not.
It was at 6 or 7 seconds. It ran all the way down, and we're pointing over toward the... Coach Gaddis, I see him pointing over toward the left side of the field here. And the play clock has been reset. Odd stoppage of play here that we got going on, Mike. And,
really. It's a clock issue, I'm sure. There's no doubt about it. We've had issues with this clock on and off earlier in the year, and hopefully they thought they had it fixed. Hopefully it was just a small glitch. Maybe a wire came loose or something.
Mike, you were telling us, we were kind of talking in between the break there, the Wildcats had just a tremendous amount of time of possession there in the first quarter.
Yeah, we had 9 minutes and 15 seconds to their 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And that's what you call ball control.
Would like to give a quick shout out to all of our camera personnel and our crew tonight. We have Andy Hudson with us, as well as Christian Rosas Rodriguez and Matthew Charles, and trying to go through my brain, Drew Thomas, as well as I'm missing one, Alex Waraxa. That is who our crew is tonight, as well as Mark and Shauna Hayes. We appreciate David Clary, who is our executive producer tonight, and Brian Bennett back at the station for all that they do. The Indians will be forced to punt here, 4th and 1, 11-10 left in the fourth quarter. No pressure on the punt. Punt is away. It's a long, high driving punt. Hayward back to receive it. He gets it at the 25, spins out of a tackle. I'm sorry, that's Rogers. Rogers heads out to his left, losing ground, is going to be tackled at about the 12-yard line.
Oh, that was a mistake that time. He should have just gone forward when he had the opportunity. As it was, we lost about 5 yards on that reversal, but we still got the ball back, and we've got plenty of time to get into the end zone. With 10:57 left in the second quarter, no score here, 0-0.
It's going to be a first down for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. The ball is going to be placed at the 17-yard line. Wildcats, as we mentioned, have the time of possession, just are dominating, as it looks like Andrew Ferreira is in the ball game for the Wildcats. Off to Hayden Tarwater's right, 2 running backs each side. Fake handoff goes to one of the running backs. The handoff goes up the middle to about the 20-yard line. So a short running play gets the Wildcats up to 2nd and 7.
That was Darren Osborne on that carry that time for the Wildcats. And number 37 for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, Branson Carswell on the tackle.
I see Brandon Hayward in the game for the Wildcats, as well as Xavier James, who was in the backfield on that play. Hayden Tarwater getting his call in, heading toward Jackson Square end zone this time. And 3 receivers to his left, Dobyns-Bennett side of the field. A running back to his right, sending Xavier James in motion. The handoff goes to James. James has a little bit of room at the 20-yard line, up to the 25, tackled at the 27-yard line, and he's going to be really close to that first down, Mike.
Yeah, he really strived hard to get there, and I didn't know for sure if he would, but when he finally got outside and cut up the field, he just kept eating up yardage and got the first down. Just barely by about, a foot, but that's all that matters. First down and 10. Wildcats moving the chains again. 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down with 9:55 left in the second quarter. 2 receivers are going to be to Tarwater's right, a running back to each side of Tarwater. Darren Osborne is your tight end to Tarwater's right. Hayden is looking to get the play. He fakes a handoff, gives it to James. James cuts up the middle, gets to the 30-yard line, and it seems like the Wildcats are very content to, like we said before, eat clock, maybe shorten this game, and just get as many points and capitalize on your possessions. And they're doing a really good job of mixing these plays up, throwing Kingsport defense off, run right, run left, run up the middle, and then throw a pass.
The passes they have had been play-action passes, as Mike mentioned. Hayden's going to have it. 2nd and 8, 9-10 left in the second quarter. In motion goes Hundley. Handoff goes to Dozier up the middle, though. Dozier met at the line of scrimmage and doesn't get much more than that. And so this is just not good field or position for the Wildcats because they're now in 3rd and long.
I'll tell you, that number 8 for them is a great player. That Levi Evans, he's on just about every play. That time along with Joey Carter for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. They're playing good, tough defense now.
Wildcats really need to pick up a first down here to continue this drive, keep it alive. They're in their own territory at the 30-yard line with 8:33 left in the second quarter. Rogers and Hayward to Tarwater's left. Jackson and Hundley in the backfield. Handoff, fake goes to Hundley. Hayden's going to have to scramble out. He does. Picks up a block, looks downfield. Ball goes out. I believe that is to Brandon Hayward, who is just beyond the sticks. Picks up a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Wow, that was a great play that time. Hayden Tarwater did a super job of eluding a would-be tackler. He had him by the jersey, but he pulled loose and then jumped out and threw that ball, and the Wildcats get another first down.
Picked up just enough. Ball is going to be at the Dobyns-Bennett 40-yard line with 7:55 left in the second quarter. Hayden in the shotgun formation, set to take the snap. He does, looks to his right, throws to his right, goes to Hayward, who has it tipped away, just barely misses there.
Yeah,
and that was double
close.
Coverage on
I tell you, they got their hands on that ball. Hayden Shearer for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians almost caught that pass, but thank goodness it went through his hands, and we still got another life to live here. Brings up 2nd down and 10 now for the Wildcats.
And that, you're absolutely right. I believe that was double coverage that side to the single receiver side that Brandon Hayward was on. 2nd and 10, as Mike said, 7:46 left in the second quarter. Kendall Jackson in the backfield, joined by Tarwater. He fakes a handoff. Tarwater rolls out, needs to get around the edge. He does. Gets upfield, looks downfield to a receiver, and that should be a pass interference on Brandon Hayward, number 8, Levi Evans. Maybe it was incidental, Mike. Maybe. But either way, the trailing Evans knocked down Hayward, and that should be a first down.
It should have been. I mean, I'm like you. That should have been a penalty, but as it is, the Wildcats are going to have to punt this ball away. Brings up 4th down now and 10. And Jacob Bervin back deep for the Wildcats.
Jacob Bervin now joined by Brian Kelly. The right-footed kicker. Kelly, the left-footed kicker. Either one of them can fake it here,
Yeah,
Mike.
you got that right. They've done it before.
Absolutely right. Both of them have. 7:41 left in the second quarter here. 2 punters back. The snap goes to Bervin. Bervin delays, eventually kicks, end over end kick. Going to bounce at the 39-yard line. Continue to roll inside the 30, all the way to the 25, down to the 24-yard line. It might not look pretty. It's not your traditional punting style, but it's effective, Mike.
I like it. I mean, it really works. I mean, I bet he waits, 5 or 6 seconds, literally. And he waits till almost somebody starts coming at him before he ever punts the ball, and that gives the return team time to get down on the ball, and the Wildcats are standing around the ball when it hits the turf, and they can't do anything with it but get out of the way, and the Wildcats get an excellent punt.
They're just daring Jacob or Brian, whoever's back there, just to run it. That's what they're doing, and one of them are gonna take off. The Indians are going to have it at the 24-yard line. 2 receivers each side, 7:28 left in the second quarter. Handoff goes up the middle, and it's going to be a nice stop here by the Wildcats. Kendall Jackson. That could have gone a lot longer, Mike.
I tell you, I thought that the running back, Andrew Myers, was going to get a lot more yardage, but Jackson came up and made a great tackle.
Nearly broke out of that tackle, but Kendall Jackson does a great job here of making the tackle, putting up a 2nd and 4 scenario for the Indians as they are looking to the sideline for their play call. They're probably trying to slow it down because the Wildcats have possessed so much of the ball and the time so far with 6:50 left in the second quarter. 2 receivers and an H-back join them on the right side. Snap goes to the quarterback. He rolls out, fakes a handoff, looks downfield. It's going to be picked off by Jaden Williams, who was just watching the quarterback Carson the entire time. Jaden sitting in a zone and does a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes and shoulders and gets a turnover for the Wildcats in Wildcat territory.
Boy, that's a great play that time. Jake Carson he left that ball loft too much, and he broke on it perfectly and made the interception, and the Wildcats are back in business on offense inside, looks like Kingsport territory at the
47,
yeah.
47-yard line, 1st and 10 for Oak Ridge. I'm of the opinion here, Mike, you take a shot.
Amen. I agree. Go for it.
You've lulled them to sleep with the run game. 2 receivers each side, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for the Wildcats. Take a shot here and put the Wildcats up. They're going to do that. Just that, nearly tipped and intercepted along the sideline at about the 40-yard line. But I like the idea there to try to keep them honest.
Yeah, Ben Phillips broke that play up for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, but Jai Henley almost caught that ball. But like I said, Ben was there to defend, and it now brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats at the 47.
As Mike said, 2nd and 10, 6:32 left in the second quarter. A quick moving half here so far for the Wildcats and the Indians of Dobyns-Bennett. 1 receiver to Hayden Tarwater's left, 2 to the right. Kendall Jackson to Hayden's right. Hayden takes the snap, looks to his right, scrambles, gets out, does a great job, gets toward the line of scrimmage, is going to be tackled back behind the line of scrimmage. But what Hayden does a great job of, and he's improved upon this in my opinion throughout the year, is he didn't just throw that away and take another additional penalty on top of that.
Absolutely. And a really good defensive play again, that time by number 78, Ezeka Kimpo, for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians to snuff that play out.
It's going to be 3rd and 13 right at midfield for the Wildcats, who desperately need to pick it up. You know they want to get on the board here with 5:50 left in the first half. Hunley and Jackson to each side of Tarwater. Tarwater looks to his right, wants to go deep for Hayward. Hayward goes up and brings it down at the 25. Great job of Brandon Hayward just going it up and picking it up over his defender, picking up a huge 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down.
I tell you what, Hayward is just an outstanding receiver. I mean, I did not think he was going to be able to catch that ball. His concentration is outstanding. He watched the ball all the way into his hands, and even with Jaron Sensabaugh right on top of him, he was able to catch that ball. And yet another first down for the Wildcats, all the way down to the 24, James.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats, 5:40 left in the first half here. Wildcats spread it out, send Hunley in motion. They hand off to Hunley. Hunley trying to get around the edge, uses speed, picks up a block from Jackson. Hunley gets to the 21 and shoved out of bounds, and the shove came late, and you can't do that, Mike.
No.
Give Oak Ridge another first down.
He was almost all the way to the fence when he hit him. That is a 15-yard personal foul, yet another automatic first down, giving the Wildcats excellent field position here with no score, 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the second quarter.
2 big penalties for the Indians.
Yeah.
2 personal foul penalties, a face mask and a late hit.
Right.
And that, you can't do that and have success. The only thing that didn't happen last time is the Wildcats didn't score. You got to come away with some points here.
Absolutely. We need to get in the end zone bad right here, to prove that we've got what it takes. We're looking better every minute. I love the time of our possession. Again, we've dominated time of possession in this first half.
Ball's going to be placed at the 11-yard line, so the Wildcats can pick up a first down inside the 1. It's going to be 1st and 10, 5:30 left in the second quarter. Tarwater takes the snap, hands off to Hunley. Hunley pushes forward, pushes his line forward, I believe about to the 10, maybe just beyond there, as the Wildcats are substituting some players in. I see Justin Crowley, who was in on that last play, coming out, and Brandon Hayward coming back in. You'd like to think that the Wildcats might take a shot with Hayward on some kind of corner route or something over here toward the Oak Ridge sideline.
Absolutely. That's probably what it, or get Hayden in the end zone again. That young man can catch a football.
Rogers to Hayden's right, Hayward to his left, Jackson and Hunley to each side. Hayden takes the snap, looks to his right, throws it up to Rogers, and I believe it's just a little bit of miscommunication there as Rogers came back and ran a curl route, and Hayden was expecting him to run the corner route.
Well, I felt like he got held that time. Looked to me like Hayden Scherer was holding him on that play. Rogers wanted a penalty. It didn't happen, and he couldn't get up the field because Scherer was holding him.
Substitution comes into the game for the Wildcats. Number 12, Marcus Melton, comes in at tight end. It's going to be 3rd and 9 with 4:44 left in the first half here. Hayden is going to take the snap. Handoff fake goes to Jackson. Rolls out. Lofts one into the end zone and just out of the outreached hands, I believe, of Rogers there. So the Wildcats do not come up with a conversion, but they are going to send the kick unit out here. And as we said before, Mike, points are the key here.
Amen. We need them. And I tell you, I was watching Efren Rodriguez at warm-ups, and he was looking good tonight. So hopefully Efren Rodriguez can kick this between the uprights.
Snapper for the Wildcats is Price Palmer. Holder is going to be Tarwater. As Mike said, the kicker is going to be Efren Rodriguez. The ball is down at the 10. Tarwater is at the 12. The 17. The kick is going to be up, and it is going to be good. That's going to be a 27-yard field goal for Efren Rodriguez, which gives the Wildcats a 3-0 lead over the Dobyns-Bennett Indians with 4:38 left in the first half. We will take a short break, and we will be back with the following kickoff.
They punted, remember, and we got back to the 12, didn't it? I think we were on the 12 when this. Okay.
That's what.
That's right.
Pick up right on the 25-yard line. Who's that kicker? Is that David Wilson to kick off for the Wildcats? The Indians are 21, Hayden Russell. James Branson back here at Blankenship Field, joined by Mike Sheehan. David Wilson, the kicker for the Wildcats, kicks it high in the air, going to be fielded at the 31-yard line. Wildcats end up making the tackle at about the 42-yard line. So Dobyns-Bennett will take off after the kickoff by David Wilson at the 42-yard line. The sophomore David Wilson, he got a little bit of playing time last week against Carnes and did a really good job. And I think just had that kick just been a hair higher, it would have allowed a little bit more time for the coverage team.
Yeah, Andrew Myers there on return for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians brings up now 1st and 10 for them on the Oak Ridge 43.
Dobyns-Bennett will have it at their own 43-yard line. 1st and 10, 4:32 left in the second quarter. 3 receivers to Carson's right. They will be moving away from Jackson Square end zone. Carson takes the snap, fakes a handoff, and gets it out to one of his receivers right at the first down marker is where the play is going to be made, and I believe it will be a Dobyns-Bennett first down.
Hayden Shearer there on the catch for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, the one that was holding Hayden a few minutes ago. He makes the reception and another first down. Yeah, they are now inside the Wildcat territory on the Wildcat 47.
The Wildcats have their defense out. You're absolutely right on the 47. Going to be 4:07 left in the first half. 1st and 10 for Dobyns-Bennett. Wildcat defense very, very well rested by the time-consuming drives of the Wildcat offense. Dallas Frent making some changes in the secondary there. They send a man in motion. Handoff goes up the middle, and it's going to be stopped just past the line of scrimmage. Good stop there, I'm sure, by Jacob Bourbon, who I saw get up from the pile first.
Yeah, Jacob is one of the best tacklers. Well, I'd say without a doubt, him and Ethan are the leading tacklers on this football team, and he did a great job of getting to the running back very quickly that time. Also in on the stop for the Wildcats, number 70, Zach Snyder.
The Dobyns-Bennett Indians will have it 2nd and 5 Ball's going to be down at about the 42-yard line, moving toward the Oak Ridge end zone in their Oak Ridge territory. 3:15 left in the second quarter. 3 receivers to Carson's right. It's going to be Graves, I believe, that joins him in the backfield now, and it's going to be tripped. A handoff goes, and he's going to be tripped up right just past the line of scrimmage, and he is super quick, Mike. That is going to be Graves, as I said, and I'm sure glad he fell down there.
Yeah, me too. Elijah Rogers was right on top of him to make sure he didn't go any further, as it brings up now 3rd down and 4 for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
It's going to be 3rd and 4, as Mike said, 2:40 left in the first half. And, this might be 2-down territory for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially with time running out, James. We've only got 2:30 left in this game. Wildcats leading 3-0.
Pistol formation here, running back behind. That's going to be Graves behind Carson. Carson takes the snap, hands it off to Graves. Graves fighting for the line of scrimmage, but he's going to be stopped by Bourbon and Kelly and a host of Wildcats.
Yeah, they were right on him. I mean, I just knew he was going to get that first down, but boy, the Oak Ridge defense came to life, and they were going to have no part of that. Kendall Jackson also there on the stop for the Wildcats, along with Jacob Bourbon. Just a tremendous effort by the Wildcats on defense now. Brings up 4th down and 1. We need to hold them right here, James.
1:50 left in the first half here. It looks like Dobyns-Bennett is going to go for it on 4th down. I think I like the decision of going for it here. The Wildcats may not have enough time to score if you're thinking the Indians, but the Wildcat defense, if you can come up with a big stop here, you can do a lot of damage going into halftime, and I believe the Wildcats take a timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. The game started 41 minutes ago.
That's crazy. It's the fastest I've seen in a long time. It's the fastest half we've had in a long time.
James Branson back here at Blankenship Field, joined by Mike Sheehan, Mark and Shauna Hayes. David Clary is our executive producer tonight, as well as Brian Bennett back at the station. Our camera personnel tonight, Andy Hudson, as well as Alex Waraxa, Drew Thomas, Matthew Charles, and Christian Rosas Rodriguez. We appreciate you tuning in to us, whether it's on YouTube later after the game, or prepradio.com, or 92.7 FM, or Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Huge 4th and 2 here for Dobyns-Bennett. Ball placed at the 39-yard line. They try to get outside. The Wildcats stop them right at the line of scrimmage is where it's going to be made. And I don't know, Mike, it's pretty close.
It's going to be real close. But I think,
they started to move the change, and then they stopped them.
They're moving the change, James. It was super close.
Good job there by the Wildcat defense. They were just Dobyns-Bennett was just trying to get outside on the Wildcats, and they got barely enough past the first down marker. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball on the Oak Ridge 36-yard line, moving away from Jackson Square. 1:23 left in the first half. Dobyns-Bennett. Carson's going to send a man in motion to his right. Takes a snap, fakes a toss, looks to go deep. He goes down the middle of the field, and play's going to be caught there at about the 10-yard line and tackled by, I believe that is Jaden Williams. And the stop will be made. It's going to set up a 1st and 10, 1st and goal, actually, from the 9.5-yard marker.
Oh, that was a tough play. I mean, he had plenty of time that time. And Hayden Shearer made a great catch because the defense was there, but he had time to catch it, and he did, and he turned upfield and got another few yards. Now it's goal to go for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. James, the ball is on the 9-yard line.
As you said, 50 seconds left in the first half here as Dobyns-Bennett ran the clock down with 4 seconds. They're going to have to take a timeout. We'll take that timeout with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Mike, the Indians use one of their timeouts here as Wildcats lead 3-0 in the first half. They have one timeout remaining. They killed a lot of that clock. They probably ran about 25 seconds off that clock.
They sure did. I was surprised they ran that much time off. You know, they're pushing it to the limit. They want to score and go out at halftime and not give Oak Ridge a chance to get their hands on the ball again. Hopefully the Wildcat defense can bow up right here and hold them on the 9-yard line.
First and goal from the 9, 46 seconds left in the first half here. Dobyns-Bennett, Carson sends his running back in motion, looks to that side, looks toward the middle of the field. It's going to be caught on a slant route for Dobyns-Bennett, and they will score and go up 6-3 momentarily over the Wildcats.
Yeah, Hayden Scherer just got wide open in the end zone. Don't know where the defense was, but Jake Carson made a beautiful pass for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, and now the Dobyns-Bennett Indians are up over the Wildcats 6-3. The extra point forthcoming.
Titan Thomas is going to be in for the extra point. His kick is up, and it is good. So the Indians answer, and they now lead 7-3 over the Wildcats with 42 seconds left in the first half. We will be back in 1 minute.
Kickoff for the Indians, number 42, Titan Thomas. Deep for the Wildcats, number 11, Xavier James.
James Branson along with Mike Sheehan back here at Blankenship Field. Thomas to kick off for the Indians. His kick is end over end. It's going to be caught and fielded at the 5-yard line by James. James cuts up the left side of the field and gets out to about the 22-yard line with 37 seconds left in the first half here. Mike, do you just run the football to maybe see what you can get and maybe take a shot, or do you go deep? What do you think?
I don't know. I think we need to go deep at least one play. You know, with just 33 seconds left here in the first half, trailing 7-3, it don't hurt to go for it.
Hayden Tarwater, your quarterback for the Wildcats. In as receivers are going to be Rogers as well as Hayward. And I believe they're going to have a tight end in as well. That is Osborne. Hunley and Jackson are in as well. Hayden hands off to Jackson. He's probably going to get about 3 yards up to the 25-yard line before he is stopped here with 30 seconds left in the first half.
Well, it looks like they're going to be just willing to run the clock out now, Jay. Well, you know, we're still 78 yards away from the goal line, so they're just going to let the clock run out and go into halftime and think things over.
Dobyns-Bennett leads 7-3 over the Wildcats at the moment with 2nd and 8. And as Mike said, they will be content to run the clock out here and take the lead into halftime. As we were in break, Mike, I made one little observation before we take another break. It's kind of weird not seeing the Dobyns-Bennett band. You know, Dobyns-Bennett's always been really well known to have a band. I was listening, and I heard their basically their fight song being played on the other side, but I didn't see the band. I was looking all over the place. It's weird not seeing their band. That was one of the things you always enjoy.
You know, this COVID has a lot to do with that, I think. And traveling, everybody's so together. It may be expenses, who knows? And it's a long way from Dobyns-Bennett to here. And I hate their band's not here. But that just gives our band that much more time to play. And, boy, they did a great job in the pregame, I thought. We've got some really great musicians here at Oak Ridge High School, without question.
You're absolutely right, Mike. Well, we will have Mike in his scoring summary, which will be very lengthy, 2-hole scoring drives, as well as Mark and Shauna will have our stats at halftime. Dobyns-Bennett leads the Wildcats 7-3 momentarily. We will be back after this 3-minute timeout.
Who did you say?
James Branson along with Mike Sheehan back here at Blankenship Field at halftime. The Dobyns-Bennett Indians are up on the Wildcats 7-3 currently, and the Indians will get the second half kickoff because the Wildcats did receive. Mike, I believe you have the scoring summary for us real quick as we are having band senior night here. So it's really cool that we're recognizing our band seniors.
Absolutely. Thank you, James. To start things off with, the Wildcats, after 9 minutes and 15 minutes of possession in the first half, scored first. The Wildcats moved the ball all the way down to the 10-yard line where Efren Rodriguez attempted a 27-yard field goal, kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 3-0. Then with just 42.3 seconds left in the first half, Jake Carson for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians threw a 9-yard touchdown pass to Hayden Frears, and the Dobyns-Bennett Indians went ahead 6-3. Then the extra point was good by Titan Thomas, and the Dobyns-Bennett Indians led 7-3 as time expired, and the Wildcats go in down 4 at the half, 7-3.
Mike, we have a special guest joining us here tonight, a legend, if you've been following Oak Ridge football for a long time, a guy that I know tunes in every week, regardless if it's a home game, road game, if he's close to town, if he's down in Alabama. Mike Underwood. Mike, thank you so much for joining us, and you guys are celebrating 30 years of your state championship team in 1991, and I was listening to Coach Lusher before the game, and he was saying, doesn't seem like 30 years, seems like 30 days maybe.
No, it doesn't, and being around my guys and reminiscing, it doesn't seem that long ago, but when we get around each other, it's certainly not that long ago because we start cutting up and reliving old times. But it's so special to be back at Blankenship Field tonight and celebrate with my guys. And of course, I know Oak Ridge has had a tough season this year, but Oak Ridge football is so dear to our hearts.
Mike, what was so cool to listen to you guys talk about, and I know every senior class has this kind of moment, and every team has this kind of moment. You said it wasn't about a team, it was about an era, and that era kind of launched the 90s and those early 2000s for a bunch of guys. Having played in those mid to early 2000s, we idolized you guys, and you guys were the standard, and that kind of drove so many teams. And that was so cool to hear you talk about.
Right, and I was so fortunate as a little kid because my brother was 5 years older than me to be a manager on some of those mid-'80 teams with Tommy Laurendine and Eric Menifee and Eric Thomas and Alfred Jones and those type guys. And while I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and still am to this day and a Tennessee Vol fan, my heroes growing up were Oak Ridge Wildcats, and those were my heroes. And so there was an obligation when I got to the high school of living up to that standard, and win, lose, or draw, there was an expectation to live to the standard of the guys before me, and that's what it was about for us. And I think that the culmination of the hard work and the effort that we put in to win the state championship was a culmination from the beginning of like first, second grade when we started playing at the boys club to really drive because of the what was put before us.
Mike, and that was one thing that was so cool to hear as well, is you guys started telling stories, not just stories about Oak Ridge, but there was a few jabs about Robertsville and Jefferson. There was a few jabs about East versus West Boys Club. And as you said, that camaraderie, that's a Coach Lusher word right there, a camaraderie. It never fell off and it never dropped. And you guys, as you said, once you get together, it's just like old times.
It is. And, Coach Lusher tonight was the culmination of a wonderful night, him speaking to us and speaking to our community about what it takes to be a state champion and the stories that he remembers. And he was such just an absolute pivotal part of that team. And his wife, Bobby Lusher, what people don't understand is the guys from Robertsville, she was our 7th grade science teacher. Then she became the vice principal, and she was kind of a second mother to a lot of us at Robertsville. So there's so many moving parts that made that 91 team happen that people don't understand, that it really started when I was like in 7th grade. For that championship team to happen started in like 7th grade, really did.
And I know Coach Lusher mentioned a bunch of the workouts, he even talked about some of the key moments in that season, Paducah Tillman and one too many times Todd Helton and the playoff game and culminating in the state championship. Do you have a favorite moment, or is it just the whole season total?
It's a culmination of everything. I think the body of work is my favorite thing, starting from when we were in the boys club to Robertsville to Jefferson to all of us coming together after, and that's the way things were in Oak Ridge back in the 80s. Was you hated, like Sean Summers is one of my best friends in the world, but when he played at Woodland and I played at Linden, we hated each other. We absolutely hated each other. We did not like each other. Then he actually came to Robertsville, and so he's become one of my best friends. But that's the way it was. You hated each other. You didn't want to lose to each other. And then you come to junior highs, and it's a culmination of 2 elementary schools coming together and playing each other. And then you come to the high school, and there's all this hatred and wanting to win, and now we all want to win together. And I think that's what kind of made that thing great, was the fact that we all came together in the end after wanting to beat each other's butts, and I had to hold up there, but we wanted to beat each other's butts so long, and then we all got to come together and we wanted to put it on somebody else. And that's what happened. That's what really happened. Other teams took the whirlwind of what we had built up to do.
Mike, you can definitely tell how competitive you are, and we just appreciate how that carried over. And thank you so much for coming out and joining us tonight.
James, I appreciate what you do because there's so many of us across the country now that still love Oak Ridge football. And though we can't see every game, though sometimes they're streamed, we appreciate y'all bringing to us because literally I sit on my porch on Friday nights and crack open an adult beverage and listen to you guys bring it to me because Mom and Dad are still here at 109 Wildwood Drive. They're here at every game. They've had season tickets since the 60s. And I can't be here every weekend, but I appreciate you and David and your team to bring us Oak Ridge football every Friday night.
Well, you guys set the standard so much. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick 3-minute timeout, and we're going to send it over to Mark Hayes here after this 3-minute timeout. The Wildcats trailing currently 7-3 over the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
Coming over? Oh, okay. That's good. Band sounds really good tonight.
James Branson back here along with Mike Sheehan at Blankenship Field. You're listening to us on prepradio.com, also on 92.7 FM and Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. We have Mark and Shauna Hayes now joining us for the halftime statistics. We'll send it over to them.
Thank you very much, James. As you said, Oak Ridge trails at the end of the first half by a score of 7-3 to the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. Look at the statistics for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. They are led on the ground by Jay Hundley. He has 7 carries for 16 yards. Xavier James has 3 carries for 13 yards. Kendall Jackson, 4 carries, 11 yards. DeJovius Dozier and both Hayden Tarwater have netted 0 yards. DeJovius, 1 carry for 0 yards. Hayden Tarwater, 3 carries for 0 yards. As a team, the Wildcats have carried the ball 18 times, totaling 40 yards on the ground. Through the air, Oak Ridge's quarterback, Hayden Tarwater, he's 9 of 14 for 79 yards. That's an average. Actually, I don't have the averages. So receiving for the Wildcats, Brandon Hayward, 3 receptions for 43 yards. Jay Hundley has 2 receptions for 21 yards. Elijah Rogers has 3 receptions for 9 yards. And then Darren Osborne has a 6-yard reception. So as a team, the Wildcats have 40 yards on 18 carries. They have 79 yards on 14 receptions for a total offense tonight of 119 yards in the first half. Oak Ridge has totaled 9 first downs in the first half. They've been penalized 1 time for 10 yards. Now looking at Dobyns-Bennett, they're led on the ground by number 24, Andrew Myers. He has 32 yards on 6 carries. LaShawn Graves, 3 carries for 3 yards. So as a team, the Indians have rushed the ball 9 times, totaling 35 yards on the ground. Passing for the Indians, they were led, the starting quarterback was Jake Carson. He was 2 of 3 for 9 yards. He had an interception. Noah Blankenship is 3 for 3 for 46 yards. His long tonight was 27 yards. So as a team, passing, they are 5 of 6 for 55 yards. Receiving for the Indians, they're led by Hayden Shearer. He has 46 yards on 3 receptions. Genovian Gillespie has an 8-yard reception, and LaShawn Graves has a 1-yard reception. So as a team, the Indians have 35 yards on 9 carries. They have 55 yards on 5 receptions for a total offense tonight of 90 yards in the first half. Dobyns-Bennett has been penalized 3 times for 21 yards, and they've earned 4 first downs. So looking at the teams side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge 40, Dobyns-Bennett 35. Passing yards, Oak Ridge with 79, Dobyns-Bennett with 55. So total offense, Oak Ridge has 119, Dobyns-Bennett 90. First downs, Oak Ridge has 9, Dobyns-Bennett 4. Penalties, Oak Ridge 1 for 10 yards, Dobyns-Bennett 3 for 21. So as far as the stats, Oak Ridge is winning on the stats, but Dobyns-Bennett's winning on the scoreboard where it really matters. So as I said, Oak Ridge trails at the half by a score of 7-3 to Dobyns-Bennett. And we'll be back after this 2-minute timeout.
James Branson along with Mike Sheehan back here at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats trailing 7-3 to the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett. As we talked about all night long, a nice little rivalry back here, back and forth. Mike, as the players are coming back out on the field, the band did a great job out here. I know it was their senior night, but man, they are so loud, and there's so many of them, and they played so well.
They certainly did. I want to give a quick shout out to 60 years, 78-year-old people here celebrating Oak Ridge. And Ronnie Hayes, my brother-in-law, he's heading up this reunion. And he said they had a blast today, and they were looking forward to this game tonight. And it just brings out a lot of fans, other friends and family of these people are here. And I congratulate the class of 1961. That's
really, really cool. While we're giving shout-outs, I'd like to give one to my family at home, Ashley and Emmett and Avery. They're at home listening to us. They're always tuning in. Andy, you want to give a shout-out to anybody real quick before second half? Andy Hudson, man of many words here, as he is one of our camera crew, as well as Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Matthew Charles, and Alex Waraxa, Drew Thomas down on the ground with us. As you heard, Mark and Shauna at halftime doing our statistics, as well as Mike. He's been doing color for us tonight. David Clary, executive producing for us tonight, and Brian Bennett back at the station. You have been listening to us on FM 92.7, prepradio.com, Oak Ridge Schools, Channel 15, or you may be watching on YouTube in the future. We appreciate you tuning us in whenever and wherever you do. Mike, as we were talking, very quick first half, probably one of the fastest, but you kind of appreciate that type of game. You know, with all these offenses and points being put up, you appreciate the defensive game and the long drives that Oak Ridge has been able to have.
Absolutely, James. That was one of the faster first halves I've ever seen in a long time for the Wildcats. And I want to say that, you know, you talking about the cameraman a minute ago. I was watching the coach's corner. I like to watch it every Wednesday night. And these cameramen we have, they're just high school students, but they really do a great job of their camera work. And I'm really proud that we've got so many young, talented people at this high school that come out and help us with these broadcasts.
Mike, Dobyns-Bennett is coming back out on the field from their warm-up stretches, as well as the Wildcats. Dobyns-Bennett in their white uniforms, gray pants, Oak Ridge tonight, and they're all Cardinal uniforms. Dobyns-Bennett lost 19 of 22 starters from last year's team. So you wouldn't know it by their record and how they're playing, but, man, they had to replace a lot of people.
Yeah, we had to reload a lot too. But, yeah, every year, that's the thing about school. You know, they graduate every year. You graduate great people. Just like last year, you know, we went all the way to the state championship game, and we lost a tremendous amount of talent last year when we graduated. But you just had to take what you've got and try to do the best you can with it. And this year's team, they've struggled. I mean, they've had some really, really close games. A bad call here, you know, a muff play there. Things just haven't gone as well as we had planned for the Wildcats this year. But, James, we still stand a chance of getting into the playoffs. And you never know. That's the great thing about the football being a playoff situation. If we beat Campbell County next week, we can still get into the playoffs. Albeit we'll have to go on the road, and we'll probably have to play a really good team. But you never know. This team's coming together, and we can put it together and make a long run in the playoffs. You never know. That's why they play the game.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, we have a great shot here in this game. One possession game. The Wildcats have really owned the time of possession, owned the statistics, and really doing a great job here tonight.
They really are. I've been real impressed, especially with this offense tonight. They just ball control offense big time. And, you know, the defense has done a good job of keeping a good team like Dobyns-Bennett out of the end zone. You know, I read earlier where, you know, they average about 35 points a game. So, you know, what they've only got 7 at halftime. Our defense is doing something right, James.
Oak Ridge is coached by head coach of the Wildcats, Joe Gaddis, as well as assistants Jeff Miner, the defensive coordinator, and Chad Hodge, the offensive coordinator. Matt Bates and Brian Wyatt are assistant coaches, as well as Barry Saunders, Winston Russell, John Spratling, Tyler Jarnigan, Justin Pace, Vonce Henderson, and Ted Mitchell. Kicking off start the second half for the Wildcats is going to be Brennan Pearson. Pearson, his kick goes deep and into the end zone.
Yeah.
A little bit of a switch here for the Wildcats, but it pays off for him.
Absolutely. He booted it all the way into the end zone, and there was no way he could fill that ball. So that's always a big help, I think. You don't have to worry about the return, and it brings it out to the 25 or to the 20-yard line, pardon me. It'd be first down and 10 for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, 80 yards from the goal line.
80 yards, as Mike said, on their own 20. No time off the clock, beginning of the third quarter here. Wildcats on defense, I see Elijah Rogers as well as Frent, Jaden Williams, and Brandon Hayward in the secondary. Two receivers to the right. One comes in motion. Carson hands it off. Ball goes up the middle. It's going to be stopped right there. 2 yards of the past the line of scrimmage. Great job in tackling by Jacob Burvin.
I tell you, that young man is just a great tackler. Blake Dunford there on the run for the Indians. He gets nada.
He does get knocked, Mike. And, you know, Jacob Burvin, one of the leading tacklers in Oak Ridge history, kind of reminds you of James Mitchell, just always around the football.
Oh, he is. He's a scrapper. I'll tell you what, I was impressed with his play last year. Now that he's a senior, you know, if he don't make All-State, I'll be super disappointed.
Jacob Burvin, as well as Brian Kelly, Marcus Melton, and Kendall Jackson are your running backs. J.K. Morgan and Ethan Hewitt are your defensive linemen. Dobyns-Bennett snaps it. Pass goes out quick to the 30-yard line and is going to be tackled there. Just past the 30-yard line to the 32 is Brandon Hayward on the tackle. 11:04 in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was an excellent execution that time by the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. Get him out into the flat on the right side over there. He made the catch and got another first down for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
First and 10, as Mike said, ball's going to be at the 32-yard line. 10:45 left in the third quarter. Also on the defensive line, I believe, out there for them is Zach Snyder for the Wildcats. Two receivers to the left, one to the right of Carson. A little counter play goes to the running back. He gets upfield for maybe a 1-yard gain and then bowled over backwards into the backfield. They might give him a yard there. Going to be 2nd and 9, Mike, but a great job by the Wildcat defense there on that stop.
They were just swarming again, and guess who was on the bottom that time? Number 38, Jacob Burvin.
It's going to be ball's going to be placed at the 34-yard line of the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. They lead 7-3 with 10:05 left in the third quarter. They break the huddle. They're going to send 3 receivers to their short side of the field, the Dobyns-Bennett side of the field. 1 receiver to the left over near Oak Ridge's sideline. They now motion Graves into the backfield. Carson directing the offense. Carson takes the snap, hands off to Graves. He's going to get by. No, I'm sorry. Carson keeps it out the backside. He gets a little out route out into the flats there. Going to be tackled and hit by several Oak Ridge defensemen, and it's eventually going to be Ethan Hewitt coming from his defensive end position to make a play about 7 yards down the field, Mike.
And and I want to tell you, James, that was Noah Blankenship, number 6 for the new quarterback for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, has come into the game, and he threw that out to Ben Phillips, and Ben did an excellent job of running up the field, and for the first down. Ball now on the 42, 1st and 10 for the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians with Noah Blankenship now at quarterback.
Thank you, Mike. I'm having a little trouble seeing as well. So number 6, number 16, they look very similar. 3 receivers, 1 comes into motion. Blankenship hands it off up the middle to Graves. Graves gets about to the 42 or 45-yard line before he's tackled for about a 3-yard gain with 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Sounds like Jacob Burvin was in on the tackle there. Wildcats making a few subs defensively. Kendall Jackson comes out. Coming in is, I believe, Jai Hunley for his outside linebacker position. The Indians running a man on late as they are going to send Graves out of the game. 8:30 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 7. Ball at the 45-yard line of the Indians. It's going to be a little reverse here for the Indians as they're trying to get outside. Well played by Elijah Rogers. Unfortunately, it's going to be a Dobyns-Bennett first down, and then a late flag comes in. It looks like it's going to be a late hit or a personal foul against the Indians as one of the Dobyns-Bennett Indians is upset right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's a big break for the Wildcats because he did a good job of getting out and breaking those tackles and getting up the field. It would have been another first down had they not had this penalty, but it is going to go against the Indians, and the play is – oh, it's going against the Wildcats, James.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. I thought it was going against the Indians. They started stepping backwards.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's going to be a first down for the Indians as the Wildcats make some changes. Number 58 for the Wildcats comes in at defensive line. That is going to be Tyrese Allman at the nose tackle or defensive tackle position. The ball is going to be moved after the personal foul penalty all the way to the 31-yard line of the Wildcats. So the Dobyns-Bennett Indians move into Oak Ridge territory with 8:05 left in the third quarter. They're leading 7-3. Dobyns-Bennett sends 4 receivers to the right. Blankenship, he wants to pitch it out. No, he steps back. Nearly sacked in the backfield by Rogers. Should be a block in the back. They're not going to throw the penalty as Blankenship continues to run, and he's going to be chased out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. And Coach Miner obviously pretty upset here.
Oh, yeah. He had him in the backfield. Elijah did, and he somehow eluded him. He got outside and gained 5 yards before Bourbon took him out of bounds. Brings up second down and 5 now for the Dobyns-Bennett Indian on the Wildcat 27.
Mike, I don't know about you, but it looked pretty much like Elijah got spun around. One of the linemen came back. I thought he got hit in the back. That's just me personally, but they didn't call it. I guess the play was moving too far forward for the referees to see.
Now, that was a tough call against the Wildcats.
2nd and 6 for the Wildcats. 7:45 left in the third quarter. Dobyns-Bennett hands it off to Graves. Graves gets outside. Flag goes in. Graves is continuing to run down the 10, down to the 5, dives into the end zone. It looks like it will be a touchdown, but we have to see what the flag is. That flag came flying in pretty quick and in the direction of holding.
This one's coming back for holding, James.
I think you're absolutely right. It's right at the 29-yard line. And Dobyns-Bennett is continuing to move backwards.
Yeah, they were called for holding.
You know what? I'll let Graves run free all day long when they have those penalties. Mike, get him worn out because he's pretty quick.
Amen.
The ball's going to be placed at the 39-yard line of the Wildcats. Dobyns-Bennett is backed up 10 yards from the spot of the holding foul. 7:20 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 20 for the Indians. I like this scenario for the Wildcat defense.
Yeah, lucky for us on that play. You know, the ball went from the 27 to the 39 on that penalty.
Blankenship sends 2 receivers each side, now sends 1 in motion. He wants to drop back. He does, looking for a screen pass. It's going to be incomplete. Right. He threw it at Graves' feet, and he had no shot. And if he did, Bourbon and Kelly were there to stop him.
Well, they were putting a tremendous amount of pressure on him. The problem with that, Graves couldn't get the ball off because they were right in his face. And when he did get it off, it was real low, and no chance it falls incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and long now for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
3rd and Miss Betty's, I like to call it.
Yeah.
Over there on near the opposite end of the turnpike. 7:01 left in the third quarter. Dobyns-Bennett has 7 seconds on the play clock. They might have to use a timeout. 5, 4, 3. What are we doing? Are they going to call a delay a game? 2. Eventually, Dobyns-Bennett calls a timeout, and we will take a short 30-second timeout with them. Dobyns-Bennett leads 7-3 over the Wildcats.
Yeah. He was.
James Branson along with Mike Sheehan, Mark and Shauna Haste, Brian Bennett back at the station, as well as David Clary, executive producing for us. I'd like to thank our camera personnel, Andy Hudson, Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Alex Waraxa, Drew Thomas, Matthew Charles, and I think I got everybody on that one. You're listening to us on 92.7 FM, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. 3rd and 20 for the Indians at the 39-yard line of the Wildcats. Dobyns-Bennett needing a chunk play here to pick up a first down. They drop back, does Blankenship, looking downfield. Under some pressure, has to throw it away, and it is going to be incomplete. It's going to be 4th down, Wildcat fans.
They're probably going to have to punt this time, James. They're too far down, and there's a whole lot time left in this third quarter. So the Wildcats are going to get this ball back. Depending on how good the punt is, where they're going to get it, but they are going to get it.
Dobyns-Bennett's offense now comes off the field. They're going to send their punt unit on. Fairly impressive drive, Mike, because, they tried to do what Oak Ridge did to them in the first quarter. They were only able to run 5 minutes off the clock, not like Oak Ridge is 9.
It's still been a fast-moving game, James, no question about it. Back deep for the Wildcats, number 14, Elijah Rogers.
Grayton Manning back to punt for Dobyns-Bennett. Play is stopped before the punt could get off. It is going to be a what? What is the call? The white hat is looking for somebody to give him a signal. He gets a signal. Eventually, it looks like delay of game on Dobyns-Bennett. They will be backed up an additional 5 yards.
Well, I thought they were taking their sweet time about getting their punt team out on the field. They were just kind of nonchalantly trotting out there, and they let the play clock run down on them, and that's even going to help well, they might have even done it intentionally, James.
They might have done it intentionally, and I was just thinking that as well. To back themselves up, give them a little bit more room. Their punter seemed to have a pretty strong leg. The ball was going to be pinned inside the 10-yard line, but it's going to be 4th and 24 for the Wildcat, or for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. They'll be punting from their 44-yard line. Punter is Manning for the Indians. His punt is up, not nearly as good, kind of wobbly, fielded at the 11. Rogers tries to get out wide. I'm sorry, that is Hayward. Hayward eventually cuts it up and gets to about the 17-yard line. So the Wildcat drive will start at the 17-yard line, down 7-3 with 6:41 left in the third quarter.
Now, hopefully the Wildcats can get back in this game. We need to really generate some offense and get the ball across the goal line this time. But we're still a long way from home to get to the end zone. But we got plenty of time to do it in, James. 6:41 left here in the third quarter. Wildcats trailing 7-3.
Hayden Tarwater in the backfield with Kendall Jackson. We'll set the Oak Ridge lineups momentarily. Handoff goes to Kendall Jackson. He moves it forward to about the 20-yard line, where it's going to be about 2nd and 7 for the Wildcats. Mike, if you'll run down a few of our starters on the offensive line for us.
Absolutely. Up front we've got Walker Rice is the center, Tyrese Almond's the left guard, Ethan Hewitt's the left tackle, Zach Snyder's the right tackle, Sam Bentley's the right guard for the Wildcat.
As well as Darren Osborne, who's been playing tight end, and Marcus Melton as well. Snap comes to Hayden Tarwater, throws a quick screen route out to Hunley. Hunley out in open space, gets tackled at the 21-yard line, maybe, with about 6 minutes left in the third quarter here. Wildcats needing a fairly decent and medium-sized conversion here to come up on third down.
Yeah, they certainly do. I'm just waiting on Kendall Jackson to break one. He is such a great athlete, and boy, he can run when he gets out in open field. I just hope he gets loose tonight and has a big game.
Absolutely. We were talking before the game, and Kendall seems just maybe a step or two away as we have 3rd and 6 with 5:30 left in the third quarter. Hayden takes the snap, fakes a handoff to Kendall, rolls out to his left under some pressure, steps up in the pocket. It's going to have to take a sack at about the 16-yard line. Dobyns-Bennett thinks there was a fumble. They are pointing that way, and it is ruled an Oak Ridge fumble by Tarwater. Dobyns-Bennett back in the red zone of the Wildcats.
That's a tough break right there. Well, I was looking. The pass defense was excellent that time. Hayden had nowhere to go. They were covered like a blanket. The receivers were scrambling, trying to get open, and in the meantime, the line blocking broke down and Hayden got sacked and apparently got stripped of the ball. Now the Dobyns-Bennett Indians are back in business.
1st and 10 at the Oak Ridge 16-yard line, moving away from Jackson Square. 5:15 left in the third quarter. Dobyns-Bennett sends Three receivers to the right, one in motion comes now. Handoff goes to the running back. He pushes the ball forward to about the 12-yard line. And, Mike, it's interesting. The Indians are flip-flopping their quarterbacks as it's going to be Carson back in the ball game for the Indians.
That is interesting. I don't know why Blankenship was in there, but now Carson is back, and they've determined to run the ball down the Wildcats' throat right now.
2nd and 5 for the Indians. 4:45 left in the third quarter. Wildcat defense needing a stop here. Get a stop, hopefully a turnover, as the Wildcats are going to jump off sides and give a free first down inside the 10-yard line to the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
Now, that's an inopportune thing to happen for the Wildcats. They're digging themselves a hole with these penalties and giving the Dobyns-Bennett Indians an extra opportunity to get into the end zone. No, it looks like it's going against the Indians.
Oh, wow. I was pretty sure. No fault. Not trying to point out his mistake. I thought J.K. Morgan came across the line pretty quickly, but apparently a Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indian moved first, and so they will be penalized 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for Dobyns-Bennett from the Oak Ridge 16-yard line, moving toward the big scoreboard. 4:18 left in the third quarter. It's going to be Carson taking the snap, throwing a pass out quick. He completes it at the 12 up to the 10-yard line. It's going to be tackled at the 10. It's going to be 3rd and short for Kingsport here. And once again, you'd love to get a turnover here for the Wildcats.
Dakari Dixon there on the catch for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. Wildcats need a hold right here with 3rd down. 3:54 left here in the third quarter.
It's going to be 3rd and 4 at the 10-yard line. Wildcat fans are now getting into it. The band and the cheerleaders, student section getting pretty loud. Nice little student section we have here. The play clock is inside 7 seconds. Dobyns-Bennett's going to have to move fast here if they want to get a play off. And it's going to be Carson handing it off to his running back, 25. He gets toward the first down marker, and I believe he got just past it, but that's just from my vantage point.
I tell you, that running back number 24, Andrew Myers, really did a great job of keeping his leg drive up and getting the first down, and that gives Dobyns-Bennett Indians a first down on the 6-yard line.
1st and goal from the 6. Dobyns-Bennett looking to extend their lead. They now lead 7-3 on the Oak Ridge 6-yard line. Driving in, Wildcat defense holding pretty stiff so far. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. They're going to be in an I formation, a fullback and a running back behind Carson. Carson turns, hands to his halfback. He gets all the way down maybe to the 2-yard line, just following his blockers. Looked like a simple dive play there. And it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Andrew Myers there again on the carry for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. Wildcats do a good job of keeping him out of the end zone, but they keep moving the ball down. Now they're on the 2-yard line.
Dobyns-Bennett moving a little bit quicker. 2nd and goal from the 2. As Mike said, I formation once again. Wildcats are packing it in on the line of scrimmage. They hand it off to a fullback dive. No, sir! Going to be stopped at the 1-yard line. Great defense. Great flow by the linebackers. I think that might have been Elijah Rogers that came in on that tackle.
So that was a great job of the Wildcats bowling them up right there. You know, the line surge by the Wildcats was excellent, and then Elijah Rogers came in and made the stop.
3rd and goal from the 1. 1:58 left in the third quarter. I formation once again. Takes the snap, hands off to the fullback, and he gets into the end zone that time. And the Dobyns-Bennett Indians go up 13-3 with 1:49 left in the third quarter.
Levi Evans there on the carry for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians for the 1-yard touchdown, put the Dobyns-Bennett Indians up 13-3 over the Wildcats.
Going to be number 42 for them, Titan Thomas, attempting the extra point. And the snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up. It is good. So the Dobyns-Bennett Indians now lead 14-3 with 1:49 left in the third quarter. We will be back in 1 minute.
That's a killer. Yeah, it is. We've got to get some
The Dobyns-Bennett kickoff went deep into the end zone, so the ball will come out without a return to the 20-yard line for the Wildcats. Mike, you and I were talking momentarily ago. Wildcats are going to have to get out of their kind of clock management here offense and have to go a little bit faster.
Absolutely. We need to get the ball down the field and in the end zone as quickly as possible. And, Dobyns-Bennett's got a lot to say about that. They've been pretty tough on defense here in the third quarter.
Wildcats getting a few subs in. I see Justin Crowley and Marcus Melton out at receiver. 4 wide receivers out. The handoff goes up middle to Kendall Jackson. Kendall spins out of a few tackles, fights forward for about 3 or 4 yard gain on first down. So it's going to be 2nd and about 7 with 1:37 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Wildcats just need to keep driving, James. We got to get the ball up the field.
Dobyns-Bennett leads 14-3. The ball is at the 23-yard line of the Wildcats. A little bit of change in formation here. They are not as tightly packed in. The Wildcats have spread their receivers out. 3 to Hayden's right, 1 to his left. Kendall Jackson joins him in the backfield. Wildcats take the handoff. Looks like there was a procedural penalty before the start of the play, and the referee has the call for us. It's going to be offsides on the Wildcats, so they will be penalized 5 yards for moving before the snap. Going to be 2nd about 12.
Those are the kinds of mistakes that really cost you and put you in a hole. You're behind. We're behind the chains now, James. We really got to get some positive yardage on these next 2 plays, especially.
The signal there was offsides. Usually you see the false start motion there. I wonder if there's a little confusion, a little mix-up. 55 seconds left in the third quarter, 2nd and 12. Wildcats moving toward Jackson Square. Hayden fakes a pass, hands it off to Kendall Jackson, going back up the middle. Moves it forward roughly about to the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 with about 40 seconds left in the third quarter here.
Yeah, I look for us to pass the ball definitely this time. We got to get the ball up the field. We got 11 yards to go to make a first down with time running out here in the third quarter.
Wildcats need to pick it up. They will have to run a play here as there is 19 seconds on the play clock, and just now there is 19 seconds on the game clock. About a 5-second differential here. Hayden Tarwater, 2 running backs, 1 each side. Hayden looking downfield. He decides to pull it down and run. Got to get upfield with it. Ball comes out once again, but was he down? They did rule him down that time, but ball security deep in your own territory. You got to make sure you have that.
That was scary. Luckily, that happened, that the ground caused the fumble, and that'll be the end of the third quarter.
Into the third quarter, Dobyns-Bennett leads 14-3 over the Wildcats. We will be back after a 1-minute break.
Yeah.
They're just really good.
Oh, I know they are. They're tough.
I think Tennessee might come out and hang with them for a little bit. Like maybe the first
I hope
quarter,
so.
quarter and a half.
Yeah.
Their offense, if they get the offense going.
Yeah. James
Branson along with Mike Sheehan back here at Blankenship Field. Thank you for tuning us in on 92.7 FM, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Wildcats are in a 4th and 10 scenario on their own 20. 2 punters, Bervin and Kelly, are back deep. Jacob takes the snap, rolls slightly to his right. Ball is punted away end over end, and not a great punt. It's going to be fielded at the 48, 49-yard line of the Wildcats by Dobyns-Bennett Indians. So I think Jacob felt just a little bit of pressure there and had to kick it a little bit faster than he wanted to.
Yeah, well, we're not. Well, at least we don't have our backs on the goal line like we did earlier. That's a good thing. We just need to come up with a defense that's turnover of our own now. We haven't had any turnovers lately, James. It's about time for one for the Wildcats.
The one turnover we did get was Jade Williams' interception, which led to the field goal by Efren Rodriguez. Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett will have the ball at the Wildcat 48-yard line in Wildcat territory. 11:49 left in the fourth quarter. Handoff's going to go to Graves. Graves spins out of a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Is going to be tackled, I believe, by Marcus Melton at about the 44-yard line. So he was able to pick up about 4 yards on that play.
Wow, I was surprised he got loose there before Elijah Rogers could make the stop again for the Wildcat.
Kingsport has the ball in Oak Ridge territory. Wildcat defense needing a stand, hopefully a turnover. We haven't seen Dobyns-Bennett punt much. I think twice. They've gone for it once on fourth down. It's 2nd and 6 with 11:38 left in the third quarter. Clock has stopped because he was tackled out of bounds. Graves gets the handoff once again, moves the ball forward to the 40, and just kept driving his legs. It will be a third down. Looks like about where they're spotting it, 3rd and 1 on the 39-yard line. They will have the ball. There is 11:18 left in the fourth quarter. Dobyns-Bennett leads 14-3. Once again, the Wildcat defense and the fans are cheering them on to try to get a stop here, try to get a little bit of momentum, maybe get a turnover here. Dobyns-Bennett back under center once again, I formation. Handoff, who's it going to go to? Graves once again. Every time he's gotten it on this possession, 3 times, 3 carries, a first down, and about 12 yards for his efforts.
Tripped up by J.B. Morgan that time, but not before he got the first down. DB driving the ball again down to the Wildcats 35. 10:47 left in this game, fourth quarter. DB up 14-3.
2 receivers each side for Dobyns-Bennett. They move back to their shotgun formation after a short yardage play. They motion one to the left. Now there's 3 receivers. It's going to be Blankenship. Throws the ball backwards. You got to watch for the double pass. The Wildcats do. Nearly picked off and underthrown slightly. Receiver just wasn't able to come up with it. The Wildcats did recognize it, just not able to get over there and cover it quick enough.
Yeah, thank goodness that was an errant pass, really, because he was open there a little bit. The Wildcat defender was behind him, but he made a bad pass. And thank goodness that it fell incomplete now.
Well, the Indians reaching deep into their bag of tricks to try to pick up a first down with 10:26 left in this game. Dobyns-Bennett has it again. Blankenship back in at quarterback. Blankenship looks to his left, throws to his left. Pass is going to be complete for a 5-yard gain. 3rd and medium going to be set up for the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians. And the Wildcats needing a stop here, Mike.
Yeah, they definitely do. We need to get that ball back right here, James, right now.
Really good coverage, I thought, there on the play.
Yeah, Elijah Rogers did a good job. He was right there. As soon as he caught it, he tackled him.
Making the tackle very quickly, as Mike said. 3 receivers close to the line of scrimmage there for the Indians. They send one in motion. Handoff goes very quickly to 24.
Yeah.
And nailed in the backfield. Who is it? Who is it? Jacob Bervin once again on the play. Nice job.
Brings up 4th down. And they are again in 4th down territory, but they got a lot further to go now with that. He lost about 3 yards. Jacob tackled him. So that brings up 4th down and about 7 for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. What do you think, James? What are they going to do with this ball?
I think they're going to try to pass it and pick it up short yardage or try to roll their quarterback out with 9:10 left in the fourth quarter. Wildcat defense needing a stop. Dobyns-Bennett leading 14-3. Quarterback Blankenship drops deep, way over the head of his receiver, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Wildcats. Great field position at their own 33-yard line. The only negative on the play, there's a Wildcat down. That is Darren Osborne down on the play.
Oh, no.
This injury timeout is brought to you by Donnie Sharp. If you are injured, go see Donnie at East Tennessee Spine and Sport. You may call him at 888-5431. It's taking a little bit longer, maybe just a little bit more than a cramp. Mike, I think we'll take a 1-minute timeout to allow Darren to get off the field.
off on his own power. He just got a stinger there, James. Yeah.
Should take 30 seconds. James Branson along with Mike Sheehan back here at Blankenship Field. Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line in their spread formation. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hayden Tarwater looking to get the play call. And it is going to be a timeout for the Wildcats. We will keep it right here.
Like
as
the
you're
Wildcats
listening
are
to
taking another timeout. As Darren Osborne on that previous play, I think he just had a stinger, James. After Brian Leffler and Coach Gaddis talked to him and rubbed his leg out a little bit, he got up and trotted off the field on his own power. I believe we'll see Darren Osborne back in the game shortly.
You know, you always like to see former Wildcats come home like Brian Leffler. I don't like to see him out on the field, though, Mike. I don't need Brian on the field as a trainer. We need to keep our guys healthy.
Absolutely.
We like Brian as a guy, though. He's a really good guy. Does a great job for the Wildcats.
You probably don't know this. He was a neighbor of mine, and he lived just right down the road from where I live, so we had a good camaraderie while he was playing. And then, you know, he helped David with the broadcast some. He was a very good broadcaster.
I don't know about you, but I think that's enough Leffler time. The Wildcats will have the ball after a turnover on downs by the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians. The ball is at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 9:02 left in the game. Hayden Tarwater takes a snap, looks to the 3 receiver side, throws it underneath to Jai Hunley, who nearly comes up with the completion, but just swatted out of his hands there by a linebacker.
Colt Weiniger for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians caused him to drop that ball. As soon as he hit it, he caught it, and then he took his hands and stripped them down. So good job by Colt Weiniger for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians on defense to keep him from making that reception.
14-3, Kingsport leads. 8:57 left in the game. 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats, needing to pick up some chunk yardage. Clock is stopped. Now Hayden Tarwater drops back in the pocket, decides to pull it down and run, has plenty of room at the 40, down to the 45 and goes out of bounds. Very decisive move there by Hayden. Was covered, feeling pressure, and it's like the Red Sea parted right up the middle, and Hayden was able to run freely about 16 yards for a first down.
That was one of the best decisions he's made tonight, without question. That was a great play. He gained about 15 on that play, and it gave the Wildcats a very badly needed first down and moved the ball all the way out to the 46-yard line.
10 Bank of Oak Ridge, first down, 8:48 left in the game. Hayden, shotgun, takes a snap, fires quickly out to the sideline. It's going to be caught by a Wildcat. That is going to be Elijah Rogers at the 46-yard line of the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. The Wildcats are on the move once again, Mike Sheehan.
Yeah, excellent play, excellent execution by Hayden that time. Good job by the big guys up front, giving him plenty of time to throw the ball.
2nd and 2, 8:20 left in the game. Hayden looks to his left, throws out quickly to Hunley. Hunley on a screen pass, takes it at the 40, 35, 30, 25, outrunning the defense, down to the 10-yard line and out of bounds, stopping the clock. This is what you want to see out of the Wildcats. This is the response they needed.
That is exactly right. The execution could not have been any better. Jai Hunley caught that ball and got out in the flat, and he outran the linebackers and got into the safety and just almost bulldozed his way into the end zone and drove all the way down to the 8-yard line. 1st and goal for the Wildcats.
Shot out of a cannon was Hunley there as the Wildcats are able to make a couple substitutions. Xavier James and Andrew Ferreira come in. Hayden Tarwater has it, 1st and goal. Play clock at 5. Hayden takes a snap, looks to his right. The 3 receiver side has to take a sack once again, though. There was an immense amount of pressure and just not able to get a pass off quick enough. I think they were looking to the end zone.
They certainly were, and as you said, he just didn't have any time that time. The pressure came right from the middle from the big guys up front for Kingsport, and they got loose from their blocks and got in there on top of him, and the Wildcats take a big loss, 10 yards all the way back to the 18.
Second and goal from the 18, 7:15 left in the game. Hayden Tarwater, 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, joined by Kendall Jackson. Hayden looks to his left. Elijah Rogers in the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Nice job by Hayden Tarwater putting it up where Elijah could get it or nobody was going to get it. And Elijah made a play by beating his man. Heck of a play, Mike.
That was a tremendous play by the Wildcat and exactly what they needed. He got open, James, and Tarwater delivered a perfect strike, and the Wildcats get up on the board 9-14 now, 7:08 left in this game. Extra point forthcoming.
Extra point is going to be snapper Bryce Palmer. Hayden Tarwater to hold. Efren Rodriguez, the kick is up and good, and we have a 1-possession game, 14-9. Wildcats trail, 7:08 left in this game. We will be back in 1 minute.
Now you gotta do defense.
That was good.
We're back in it now, baby.
Good.
Yeah. You ready for defense? I'm having to let you do one play. I'm having to let you do one play.
We are back in it.
Nah, you need to go. Woo! Rest of the game.
5 points. Gotta love it.
You never have a crowd over there.
They just flat beat the defense that time. They flat beat them. I don't know. But he was right by, he was way behind him.
I mean, he was 3 yards behind.
Yeah, he was.
James Branson along with Mike Sheehan back here at Blankenship Field. Wildcats cut it to a 4-point game. Brendan Pearson back in to kick off. His kick end over end, nice and deep into the end zone. No return by Kingsport, and all the momentum, Mike, has shifted to the Wildcats.
Yes, it has. We need a defensive stop right here, James. Get this ball back and get our momentum going again, and maybe get the lead for the first time tonight. Trailing 14-10 with 7:08 left in this football game.
The defense has played so hard for the Wildcats tonight to get to this point. You'd love to see a turnover would be amazing right here.
Oh, boy, wouldn't it, though? Yes, it would.
7:08 left in the game. Kingsport back out, starting at their own 20-yard line. 2 receivers. To the quarterback's right, 1 to his left. Tight end moves over now. Running back straight behind. They motion once again. Handoff to the running back up the middle. Gonna be stopped. Boom! Big stick. Thank you, David Clary, for that call. Had to get one in for him as he is executive producing for us tonight. 1 yard gain. You love to see it, Mike.
Jacob Bird stood him straight up in the hole and put him on his back. Good defense for the Wildcats. Way to come out fired up here in the fourth quarter. They want that ball back, James.
Dobyns-Bennett cannot get conservative if they want to keep this lead or extend it. You'd love to see it if you're a Wildcat, though. It's going to be number 16, Carson, in once again for their quarterback. A little bit of inconsistency here with all this switching as they send 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the Carson's right, fakes a handoff, trying to throw a screen once again. Going to be tackled in the backfield, and the Wildcat defense has a 3rd and 9, and everything continues to shift to the Oak Ridge side.
Kendall Jackson was on him the moment he caught that ball and actually tackled him for a half-yard loss. So it brings up now a 3rd and long 9 for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians on their own 21. Wildcats need to stop them right here. We get this ball back, James.
Dobyns-Bennett leading 14-10, 5:50 left in the game. Defense standing up, 3rd and 9, as Mike said. Needing him one more stop to force a punt. 3 receivers to Carson's right, 1 to his left. Running back to his left. Carson drops. Feeling a little bit of pressure, steps up in the pocket. Gonna go over the middle. Incomplete! No, sir. Wildcats are alive in the game, forcing a 3-and-out.
There were no flags on that play. That was an errant pass, and the Wildcats come up big, and now the Dobyns-Bennett Indians are going to have to punt the ball back to the Wildcats. James, plenty of time left in this ball game for the Wildcats to score.
Plenty of time, especially because of the quick score on the last possession. Wildcats will send 2 back to receive the punt. That is Hayward and Rogers. Good snap, good punt. Wobbly spiral going to be fielded. Fair catch signaled by Rogers, and he takes it at the 49-yard line. The Wildcats are going to have it 1st and 10 on their own side of the field, but 1 yard is all they need to get into Dobyns-Bennett's territory.
Absolutely, and that, we looked good on that last drive. I hope we can come out and repeat what happened on the last drive they had as they drove the ball down all the way down to the 18-yard line where Hayden Tarwater threw a beautiful touchdown pass to Elijah Rogers.
Wildcats coming back out in their spread formation. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hayden and Kendall in the backfield. 5:27 left in this game. 1st and 10. Hayden takes a snap, looks to his left, moves away from a sack. He keeps continuing to move, gets a pass over, and it's going to be incomplete to Elijah Rogers. But that was a nice way to buy time by Hayden. Look for a receiver and gave his receiver a shot in Rogers.
Yeah, he did. He lucky to get out in the flat, but did you see how far he was out in the flat? He was out past the hash mark. He ran so far to his right before he threw the ball.
Hayward, Ferreira, Hunley are your receivers, as well as Elijah Rogers. Kendall Jackson in the backfield to the left of Tarwater, moving away from Jackson Square. 2nd and 10. Tarwater takes a snap, looks back to Rogers. Looks like about the same play, except this time it's going to be complete at the 46-yard line of the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. 3rd and manageable, 3rd and about 5 for the Wildcat offense.
Well, that's a lot more manageable than 3rd and 9, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens on this play. Wildcats need to pick up a big 1st down to keep this drive alive.
Wildcats trailing 14-10, 4:50 left in this game. Hayden Tarwater, same formation. Kendall Jackson to his left. Hayden getting the right play. Takes a snap, looks in the backfield, has to run out of a sack. He does. Buys a little bit more time. Keep your eyes downfield and look for a pass. Step up into the pocket. He's going to be sacked back at the 46-yard line of the Wildcats. A loss of probably about 10 yards here. So the Wildcats are going to have to punt, Mike.
Yeah, that hurts. I wish he could have got that pass off and just threw it away, but he just didn't have time. The Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett defense collapsed in on him, and he did the best he could do. At least he didn't turn the ball over and have a fumble. But we are going to have to punt the ball away back to the Indians with 4 minutes and 6 and counting in this football game.
Wildcats have 2 timeouts, trailing by 4. Jacob Bervin takes a snap, buys a little time, end over and kick. Good one once again. It's going to bound, and it's going to be stopped by the Wildcats at the 20-yard line. So all that in about 2 minutes, and we're right back where we started, right at the 20-yard line, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. They got 80 yards to go. So we need to get turnover right here, James. If we're going to get a victory out of this, we got to get the ball back as quickly as we possibly can.
14-10, Dobyns-Bennett leads with 3:53 left in the game. Wildcats do have 2 timeouts. They can stop the clock and buy themselves a little bit more time. Need to stop Dobyns-Bennett from picking up any 1st downs. Can't have them pick up a 1st down because that's just going to extend the drive. Dobyns-Bennett, who comes out at quarterback this time? It looks like Blankenship, possibly. 3 receivers to his left, sends the one on his right in motion. He does complete a pass that goes out to his receiver at the 27-yard line, and it's going to be, the 29-yard line, and Dobyns-Bennett's going to have it 2nd and 1.
Yeah, he completed that pass to Hayden Scherer again, who caught an earlier touchdown pass for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, as he's put them in pretty good position here. A 9-yard gain on that play brings up 2nd and 1 on the 29.
3:23 left in the game. Dobyns-Bennett making a host of substitutions, running guys in and out, and they're okay with bleeding the clock, but they have 10 seconds, and they just got a guy in the huddle. They are going to go I formation with Blankenship under center. 3, 2. They get the snap off, handoff goes up the middle to Graves. Graves going to be stopped at the line of the scrimmage initially, but keeps his legs driving, picks up the first down, and it's going to be a first down for Dobyns-Bennett at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, Marcus Milton there on the stop for the Wildcats, but not before he lunged right there at the last moment and got the first down out to the 33-yard line.
Wildcats still in this game, can still stop the clock twice. They need either a negative or no gain on this play to be able to do that. You can't have any big chunk plays here as Dobyns-Bennett just wants to eat up clock. It's going to be 1st and 10, 14-10. Dobyns-Bennett leads, ball on the 33-yard line, their 33-yard line. They hand it off to Graves. Graves tries to find some room, cuts back across the middle of the field. It's going to have a first down. Going to be tackled by Brandon Hayward across the 50-yard line, probably close to about the 44-yard line of the Wildcats. Going to be first down for Dobyns-Bennett.
Yeah, that was Graves is so tough. He really runs strong, and that time he got in to the linebackers, and then Hayward had to come up from his safety position to make that stop, but not before he gained big yardage all the way out to the Wildcat 44. Brings that first down and 10 now. Wildcats trailing 14-10 with 2:02 left in this contest.
Hard to call timeouts when they keep picking up first down. You'd like to get a stop to at least call one. That's probably why they're saving them with 1:50 left in the game here. Handoff once again goes to Graves. Graves up the middle, falls down for about a 4-yard gain there, and Coach Gaddis does call a timeout. We will take a quick 30-second timeout and bring it right back. Dobyns-Bennett leads 14-10.
2nd and 6, 7:30.
James Branson back here at Blankenship Field, joined by Mike Sheehan, Andy Hudson, Vaden Guy, our top view guys. Mark and Shauna Hayes doing our statistics tonight. Brian Bennett back at the station for us. David Clary, executive producing. Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Alex Waraxa, Drew Thomas, and Matthew Charles doing camera for us tonight. Wildcats defense in a 2nd, and I think it looks more like 6 with 1:46, needing a negative play here to maybe call another timeout and force the Indians to punt. Handoff once again goes to Graves. Graves is going to be hit in the backfield and taken down.
Bourbon.
Clock will stop. Jacob Johnny on the spot. Bourbon stops the drive there, or stops the play, giving the Wildcats a shot.
Jacob did just a super job of shedding his blocker. He had a blocker right on him, James, and he just slung him out of the way, met the running back right in the hole, dropped him for another 2-yard loss. That brings up now 3rd down for the Dobyns-Bennett in on the ball on the 41-yard line. Time is our enemy now. 1:40 left in this football game.
If you're Dobyns-Bennett, you got to keep it on the ground no matter how much you want to pick up the first down. The Wildcats don't have any more timeouts. They used their last timeout. If you keep it on the ground, you can get it under a minute if you're Dobyns-Bennett. And force, depending on the situation, maybe you go for it on 4th down, maybe you punt and back the Wildcats up. We'll have to wait and see, but the effort from the Wildcat defense has been there all night long, in bad situations.
Absolutely. They've really been staunch tonight. I mean, to take a team that's been averaging almost 35, they've only got 14. That tells me they've been playing great defense against a very good Dobyns-Bennett Indian team.
Needing a rally here for one more stop from the defense, and the Indians have packed the backfield. 3 running backs as well as Blankenship. Blankenship takes the snap, hands it off up middle to Graves. Wildcats get a stop at the 37-yard line, and you got your stop. It's going to be 4th and 3 if you're the Wildcat defense. Probably thinking the Indians are going to go for it. They've gone under center and I formation every time they have.
They certainly have. And it just, It's a defensive battle right now. We've got to stop them here on this 4th down if we stand a chance to get back on offense.
You know, Mike, this is a risky play. The Wildcats have shown that they can come from behind. Nearly did it Farragut. The ball's on the 37-yard line of the Wildcats. This is still good field position for the Wildcats.
Oh, yeah.
I would consider punting it, but I'm probably a little biased here as a Wildcat fan. While the Indians do go under center 4th and 3. It's going to go to Graves. Graves going to be hit at the line of scrimmage, and it's close. It's real close. He's going to be at the 35, maybe the 34-yard line from where the judge on the Oak Ridge sideline has marked it. It looks short. I'm going by that judge. I'm not going by the other judge because I can't see him just yet.
They may have to measure this. It's that close. They're calling a timeout for a measurement, James.
48 seconds left. Timeout for a measurement. Jacob Bervin is eyeing it, and it's close. It's super close. They're going to bring the chains out. 14-10. Dobyns-Bennett leads. 48.4 seconds. Oak Ridge with no timeouts. Dobyns-Bennett, if they get it, the game is over. If they don't, it is going to be Wildcat ball. What is the signal?
He got it.
They have not signaled yet, and they do. It is going to be a first down by maybe
2 chain links, maybe.
I was going to say at best half of the ball, at best. And, you know, great effort by Dobyns-Bennett there. If you're a Wildcat fan, is it disappointing? Yes. But the defensive effort tonight by the Wildcats was amazing.
It certainly was, James. You can't fault the defense. They've done a super job here against a very good, and they're in victory formation now, James.
The Indians only need to take a knee. They have 10 seconds left on the clock. We have a running clock with 30 seconds left. The Wildcats, no timeouts, unable to stop the clock. It's going to be Carson that takes the knee for the Indians, and it's going to be a victory for Dobyns-Bennett. But, you know, the Wildcats, you look at their record, and you see 2-7. But what you don't see, if you just look at the record, is Greenville, Farragut, Dobyns-Bennett, really good team, Powell,
Bearden.
Great.
They're all good.
Good teams. And
South Doll. I mean, this schedule has been brutal, James.
3 6A teams, and maybe the 2 best other teams besides Maryville on the schedule with Powell and Greenville.
Right.
Are you happy with the result? No. But, you know, the way the Wildcats week in and week out continue to fight, you have to be happy with the effort of them continuing to fight, regardless of the time, regardless of the down and distance, regardless of the scoreboard, and regardless of your record. Many teams would have folded it in at this point.
Exactly. And, you know, as post-game, we talked about it, James. We're still in this. If we beat Campbell County next week, we will still make the playoffs, albeit on the road. But that is what it is. And you just got to take what life gives you, and hopefully we can pull out a big upset victory after we beat Campbell County. And I don't know, Campbell County's nobody's slouch, so we're going to have to play really tough again next week. But there'll be a lot going on next week. We got homecoming coming in. We got the Hall of Fame introductions next week. I hope a big crowd can come out. I hope the weather holds off like it has. Hadn't been raining or really ugly.
Senior night's next week as well.
Oh, yeah, and it's senior night. I forgot about that. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of hoopla going on, and hopefully the Wildcats can maintain a lot of excitement and come out and play well against the Campbell County Cougars and pull this out.
If you when we beat Campbell County next week, not if. Let's just go ahead and say when we can beat Campbell County next week.
Yeah, we're very capable of that.
Very, very capable. Then you can be as high as 3. If you don't, either way we're going to be on the road. You might drop down to 4. But it looks like we might be playing either, I believe David told me today, McMinn County or Ray County. Hadn't played McMinn County a lot recently. I think the last time was maybe one of the years T was around 2015, 16, sometime in that range. Or Ray County, who we saw last year in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, I remember that trip up there last year. That's a great place to play. Good venue, to play football. So we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully the Wildcats can win next Friday night and go on into the playoffs and go a long way. I mean, this team has got talent. I mean, they're just tough luck. We have some of the worst luck this year, but, sometimes you make your own luck, but hopefully we can pull it out.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, Coach Gaddis is down talking to his team at this moment, so we will take a 3-minute timeout, get a couple more of our sponsors in. Due to the fast nature of the game, not many stoppages, we weren't able to get as many sponsors in. So we'll take a 3-minute timeout, get our sponsors in. We'll bring it back after 3 minutes.
Wow. Why? It's not got anything to do with you, Jay. I've learned, that's something I've learned. I've been doing this. This is my 28th year to be around broadcasting. And we did freshman games 9 years in a row. And they'd have good years and bad years. I never brought it on myself. I'm not. You can't help it. You can't help what happens. You don't have any control over that. It's just the way of the beast. The football gods don't shine on the same team every year. That's all there is to it. But I would have, or Alcoa, I would have never dreamed that we would have lost this many games. I really wouldn't. This is tough enough to swallow right here. It really is. But these scores have been close. I mean, only these good teams have blown us out.
Back here at Blankenship Field, listening to us on 92.7, prepradio.com, Oak Ridge Schools, Channel 15. Wildcats fall to the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians 14-10. Mike, if you'd like to run down, probably the longest scoring summary we've had. No, I'm just kidding. 2 scores on each side. Dobyns-Bennett comes up with 2 touchdowns. The Wildcats come up with a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah, start the game off. The Wildcats actually got in the lead with 4:38. Efren Rodriguez kicked a 27-yard field goal for the Wildcat to put the Wildcats up 3-0. But then, after a pretty long drive, Jake Carson threw a 9-yard touchdown pass to Hayden Shearer for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, and the Indians went up 6-0. And the extra point was good by Titan Thomas, and the Indians led 7-3 over the Wildcats. Then in the third quarter, with 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the third quarter, Levi Evans ran one in from 1 yard out, and the Indians led 13-3. Again, Titan Thomas came in and kicked the extra point, and the Indians led the Wildcats 14-3. But in the fourth quarter, the Wildcats really fought back. With 7:08 left, Hayden Tarwater threw a beautiful 18-yard pass to Elijah Rogers into the end zone, and the Wildcats pulled back within 19-14. And then Efren Rodriguez came in, kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats lost this game 14-10 after Dobyns-Bennett ran the clock out to end the game and seal their victory over the Wildcats.
Wildcats will fall to 2-7 as Mark, I know, is finishing up the final statistics for us. He's, very glad we have Mark around because he does a lot of math that I don't know if I could do as quick as Mark does it.
Well, I tell you, I've had to do stats before manually, and it's one of the hardest jobs I've ever done in my life. As a matter of fact, I started my broadcast career doing stats, and it's not fun. It's very, very hard to do. But Mark has a computer program, and with the help of his wife, Shauna, they do an outstanding job.
We'll send it over to Mark and Shauna Hayes now for the final statistics. Wildcats fall 14-10.
Thank you very much, James. As you said, Oak Ridge falls to the Indians tonight of Dobyns-Bennett by a final score of 14-10. Looking at the statistics, first for Oak Ridge, they're led on the ground by Kendall Jackson. He had 18 yards on 7 carries. Jay Hunley, 16 yards on 7 carries. Xavier James had 13 yards on 3 carries. DeJovis Dozier had 1 carry for no yards. Hayden Tarwater carried the ball 8 times, netting -9 yards. So the Wildcats rushed the ball 26 times, gaining 38 yards on the ground. That's an average of 1.5 yards per carry. Passing, Hayden Tarwater, quarterback for the Wildcats. He was 14 of 21 for 149 yards with no interceptions on the night. Receiving for the Wildcats, they were led by Jay Hunley. He had 60 yards on 4 receptions. Brandon Hayward, 43 yards on 3 receptions. Elijah Rogers had 40 yards on 6 receptions, and Darren Osborne had a 6-yard reception. So as a team, the Wildcats had 38 yards on the ground on 26 carries. They had 149 yards through the air on 14 receptions for a total offense tonight of 187 yards. Wildcats earned 11 first downs in the ballgame, penalized 3 times for 30 yards. Now looking at Dobyns-Bennett, they were led on the ground by Ishawn Graves. He had 54 yards on 14 carries. Andrew Myers, 48 yards on 13 carries. Hayden Schurer had a 9-yard carry. Noah Blankenship had a 4-yard carry, and then Levi Evans had 2 yards on 2 carries. So as a team, Dobyns-Bennett rushed the ball 31 times, totaling 117 yards on the ground. That's a 3.8 yards per carry average. Passing for the Indians, Noah Blankenship, he was 7 of 10 for 77 yards. Jake Carson was 4 of 6 for 14 yards. He had an interception. And then Will Hurd had a incomplete pass. So as a team, the Indians were 11 of 17 for 91 yards through the air with 1 interception. Receiving for the Indians, they were led by Hayden Schurer. He had 55 yards on 4 receptions. Jonathan Gillespie, 22 yards on 3 receptions. Ben Phillips, he had an 8-yard reception. Dakari Dixon, a 6-yard reception. Ishawn Graves had an 1-yard reception. And then Hayden Russell had a reception for -1 yard. So as a team, the Indians had 117 yards on the ground on 31 carries. They had 91 yards through the air on 11 receptions for a total offense tonight of 208 yards. The Indians had 13 first downs in the ballgame, penalized 6 times for 41 yards. Looking at the team side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge 38, Dobyns-Bennett 117. Through the air, Oak Ridge had 149 yards through the air, Dobyns-Bennett 91. Total offense, Oak Ridge 187, Dobyns-Bennett 208. First downs, Oak Ridge had 11, Dobyns-Bennett 13. Penalties, Oak Ridge had 30 yards in penalties on 3 penalties. Dobyns-Bennett 6 penalties for 41 yards. So as a final, Oak Ridge falls to the Dobyns-Bennett tonight by a score of 14-10. James?
Thank you very much, Mark. We appreciate you and Shauna and all you do for us. We are joined now by head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Joe Gaddis. Coach, obviously not the result that you want to see, but I will say this about our group this year. And I was telling Mike this, regardless of the down, regardless of the time on the clock, regardless of the score, or even our record, you have our guys ready to play every week. And a lot of teams would have just packed it in at this point, but you guys keep pushing them.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything to do with it, but I do know that our guys have a lot of heart, and you're right. A lot of teams might just pack it in and quit at this point, but they fight through every game. It doesn't matter what game you're talking about this year. They fight hard. Unfortunately, we don't ever seem to have a good third quarter, and that's the one we really need to come out and play well in. The last 2 weeks, the third quarter's hurt us, but our guys fight to the very end. Whether the game is actually within reach or not, they're going to play hard for 48 minutes.
Coach, we were talking about the schedule earlier as well. You got 3 6A teams, I believe, on the schedule. You got maybe one of the best teams in the whole state in Greenville, and probably another best team in Powell on the schedule. And I firmly believe that our players and this group is going to be battle tested and ready for just about anybody in the playoffs.
Well, I don't think we're going to face anybody any better than what we've seen. I do believe, for whatever it's worth, Greenville's the best team we've played, and we're obviously not going to see them in the playoffs. Our schedule should prepare us for good competition in the playoffs. We just got to do more offensively. Defensively, we got back to our old selves tonight. We basically made 2 mistakes all night on defense, and they happened to score on both of them, which didn't get lined up right. But offensively, I was happy with the way we controlled the ball in the first quarter. We kept it about 9 minutes. We just had the turnover, which was a killer. And then we had another opportunity to score down here. We came away with a field goal, I guess, and then we finally did score later. But offensively, that's been our big struggle this year, and hopefully we'll get that turned around. We don't have much time left to do that, but we need to do that against Campbell County and get hot in the playoffs.
Coach, one thing that we were talking about as well, that you see some growth out of Hayden Tarwater. Hayden is starting to be more decisive, and when he sees an opening, he's now, instead of, extending the play, looking for a receiver, he's taking it down, running it. He did that several times tonight. Yeah,
he's not a rookie anymore. You can't say he's inexperienced. He's played 9 games now, started 9 games, and he did make some plays tonight with his legs, and a few times here in recent weeks he's had that opportunity but pulled the trigger a hair late. Tonight I thought he did a good job with that on 2 or 3 occasions. Had a big first down run on the far side over there.
I believe it was right about midfield, about the 45-yard line maybe that you're talking about there. Coach, I know obviously, the game was not exactly what you wanted to see, but you got a personal opportunity to see some of your former players and some of your former coaches. I believe I saw Coach Stevens came by, Coach Lucier came by, and obviously you see Principal Garfield Adams just about every day. But how nice was it to see that 91 team and be able to celebrate briefly for 30 years of that anniversary of the state championship?
Yeah, those obviously are great players, but even better guys, and it's always good to see them. I don't see those guys much at all. I see 1 or 2 of them quite a bit, but the majority of the guys that were here tonight I haven't seen in years. Well, I guess since 2011 when they came back for the 20-year reunion. I was able to come back for that, but it was good to see Bruce Lucier again, Mike Stevens. I see the other staff members quite a bit, but I haven't seen Bruce and Mike in a while.
Coach, one of the things, we were able to interview Mike Underwood at halftime, your quarterback of the state championship team, and one of the cool things that you heard him talk about, and you also heard Coach Lucier talk about, was just how tight-knit that group was, and how, oftentimes you forget a lot what happens in high school and you move on, you grow up. Those guys never forgot that, and they love Oak Ridge football. They love coming back, and they love, it's all, like they said, it was like 30 years hadn't passed. It was like 30 days.
Yeah, you don't ever want those times to fade away, and for that group, they're not going to. And they were a very tight-knit group. When they came up, we didn't have freshmen back then up at the high school, but when they came up as sophomores, you just knew something was different about them. They were talented, yeah, but there was a certain cohesion there and a certain drive and a certain willpower to to win a championship. You just knew that if you were going to win one, it was going to be that group, and sure enough, it happened.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll look forward to speaking to you on Wednesday. And obviously, special night for your seniors next week, as we'll have not only homecoming and not only Hall of Fame night, but senior night for your guys as well.
Yeah, senior night, homecoming. It's going to be a big night with the Hall of Fame. A lot of things going on in one night, and it'll be. I told our guys out there, unless something just unbelievable happens, this next week will be the last time they play on Blankenship Field. I mean, it could happen if we go deep enough in the playoffs and certain weird things happen, but likely next Friday night is it for them. So it's not too often when your last game at Blankenship is, but it'll be homecoming. It'll be senior night. It'll be Hall of Fame, and it'll most likely be the last time those guys play at Blankenship Field. That'll be a very meaningful night.
Very, very special night indeed. Coach, we're looking forward to speaking to you at that point as well.
Thank you.
That will just about do it for us tonight, as the Wildcats do end up falling to the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians. 14-10 is our final score here. Mike, your final thoughts on the game as we are about to close it out?
Well, it's just heartbreaking the way this game turned out, because we had our chances to win this game. It just eluded us again. And I look forward to next Friday night when we play Campbell County, because I know this team's going to come back with a vengeance, and they're going to put it on Campbell County, and then we're going to go in the playoffs. And I look forward to it every time. I'm an ex-Wildcat. I bleed red and gray, and I love this team. I love the coaches we've got here. I think they do a great job. It's just disappointing every time we lose, but that's just the way it is. You got to take it as it comes. So hopefully we can, win next week and then go on it deep in the playoffs, like Coach said.
What a great night. If you haven't been to an Oak Ridge game this year and you are an alum or you are involved somehow in Oak Ridge sports and hadn't been in a while, what a great opportunity, not only for senior night, not only for homecoming, all that other stuff, but to send these seniors out one more time on Blankenship Field, knowing that this might be their last time. I would hope that we would come out, support these guys just one more time, and, send them into the playoffs on a good note.
Absolutely. I hope so. I hope we have a great crowd next week. I hope the weather holds off like it has been. We've had a great year of weather, James. We really have. We got drowned at West, last year. But we hadn't had any real rain games this year. And I know I've said this before, 6 of my 10 games my senior year were in the rain. I was miserable every time we played in the rain. I got to where I was pretty good playing in the rain, but I'd rather play in the dry anytime.
I would absolutely agree with that. I remember 2004 was very similar to that. We had literally played in the middle of a hurricane here. Mm-hmm. That will about close it out for us here, along with Mike Sheehan and Mark and Shauna Hayes doing our statistics, and as well as our camera personnel tonight, which were Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Drew Thomas, along with Matthew Charles, and I'm forgetting one. I'll continue with the ones I do remember. Andy Hudson and Vaden Guy ended up helping us a little bit here. And I'm sorry I forgot the other one off the top of my head. David Clary was our executive producer tonight. We appreciate Brian Bennett for back to the station for all of his help. We'll close it out 14-10. The Wildcats fall to Dobyns-Bennett. We'll see you next week.